Okay, I have seriously no idea if I'm live even or not. I'm really trying to get this to work because this is just like not working for the moment. I don't know why. So yeah, this is my yeah, I think we are online now, right? We are, I hope. Wow, guys. Please tell me if I'm online. Yes, now it works. Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. First off, wow, I'm so happy about all this. I'm sorry I could not join the party yesterday after the review and everything. There was so much conversations, comments, everything online, but I passed out. I had to sleep and I slept for 12 hours. So yeah, anyway, welcome all of you. Welcome to this live stream. We're gonna do a lot of cool things. And before we even begin to do anything, I would like to say thank you so much for all your support, for all your great comments, all your feedback, and well, kind words. And special thanks to all my Patreons and all my new Patreons as well. It's just crazy. I'm getting so much people into my Patreon now, so I'm so happy about that. Thank you so much, guys. I haven't even learned all your names, but I would like to say a big thanks to Art Armin for becoming my second sponsor here on Vive on Patreon. I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. I think you are a man, right? Oh, maybe you're a woman. I don't know. Thank you so much. Anyway, and also Commander Dark Light for being my first sponsor. So yeah, where to begin, guys? Yeah, I need sleep. I see that VR game. I'm gonna try to follow the whole chat window here. I'm gonna answer questions. We can even try some games if you would like to, some stuff in VR, because I prepared everything. I'm gonna show you that very fast here. First off, we have this view, and then we have a second view with my, yeah, now we see a double window. I'm gonna just turn it down here. And then you also have a third view, which is not working because I have this pop-up window on. And then I think you see it right now. And then I also have a VR view, so we can see what I'm actually doing in VR. So yeah, it's gonna be very cool. And before we begin with anything, wow, thank you so much, Burnami. Thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate that. Before we even begin, I would like to point out two things, okay? My last live stream was a mess. It was my first time I ever did a live stream, and somehow I totally missed a lot of the super chats. I didn't even reply to your questions, and so I really gonna try to do a better work today. I promise you guys, I promise. And also about the review, I'm sorry for the music, you know. I know a lot of people got a little bit upset about that music in the background. It's a very American, it's very happy, and so I try to just keep people, well, stay awake, I think, throughout 2 hours and 45 minutes or so. But it was maybe a little bit too much. I actually purchased that music for like $100, more than $100 totally, those 16 tracks, because I really like them as a background music, but it may be a little bit too much for such a long video. I fully agree there. So yeah, anyway, we are here now, and wow, I'm just gonna change the view back again, because I just realized I'm still using this small view here, and I'm using a web camera as well. I'm not sure why everything is just like trying to screw me completely all the time. There we go. Anyway, now I'm going to start to answer your questions. You have so many questions, I'm sure, and I think I really need to clear out some things here, because even though my review was very long and so very in deep, I think there are a lot of questions still about a lot of the technical parts. So we'll see. So yeah, I hope you're doing good, by the way, and I hope you really enjoyed the review. I hope you looked through it completely, because yeah, it really tells you a lot. It really tells you a lot of details and stuff that you might not know about, especially the things at the end between 5K plus and the 8K. There are some differences, as I told you. The dots on the 5K plus, we have the different, well, we have the different brightness, the contrast, black levels, and so yeah. So guys, hit me with any questions whatsoever, and I will try to reply to all of them, I promise you. Super okay. Can you give me a shout out, Snälla mannen? Super okay. Hey, you're from Sweden, right? All right. So yeah. Anyway, where are we? Wow. Thank you so much, the real Naxos. Thank you so much. You're Swedish, I think. Skål för fan. All right. I'm only drinking Coca-Cola right now. It's too early for the whiskey, and so it's too early. I want to stay focused while I'm doing this. Brett S, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate that. IL2 Battle of Stalingrad and explain, please, Martin. Can you cover this 6 degree DOF without base station, as we will still have not to date? Well, I could actually show you this if you would like. All right, I could actually make it if you really want to, and give me just a second. I'm going to just switch the view, and I think you're going to be able to see this. I have the Pimax 5K connected to the computer, so everything is set up. You should be able to see P-Tool here. I really hope so. I'm just going to check. Yeah, it's showing up. And it's on. I'm going to use settings, HMD. I'm just going to use render quality 1.0, even though I strongly recommend you to use around 1.25 or 1.5 in the IL2 Sturmovik, because that game, oh no, I just realized one thing. I have not installed the game on this computer, on this Windows installation. I'm really sorry. I don't know if I will be able to test. Okay, I will cover this in another video. I promise you I will cover this. I could actually show you some other game maybe, and hopefully it's gonna work. Let me just start off something here. I don't know which game. Oh, we could go with oh, SteamVR is already running. Let's try Airfly FS2. This one is at least installed on this computer, I hope, yes. Because I have 2 Windows installations, and one of them is only for gaming, so I'm not streaming at it right now. I don't have so much things installed on it. So yeah, we're going to give this a try. And also, before we do that, I'm going to turn off the turn on lighthouse tracking. I don't know if you see it right now. I really hope so. I'm going to turn it off like that. And then I hopefully, yeah. Let me just switch the view so you can see what happens, and in the VR, and then I'm going to start off the game. The game has hand tracking actually, so hopefully it's going to work without any problems. It's starting up now. It's going to take some time. So yeah, I'm not going to spend any time in game, guys. I just want to show you that playing in well, without any base stations and so is fully possible. So let's see, starting up. There's so much stuff on my computer running at the same time right now. So yeah, this is quite crazy. It's still starting. I have not, let's see, can I just like start it off? There we go. Guys, I'm sorry, this is so noob right now, but I'm gonna try to do my best here. We'll see how it goes. It's still loading. I hope I'm not like killing my computer with this. You know, we have like OBS running. I have both my web camera and my second camera running, so therefore everything is starting off so extremely. Oh, that was weird. How do I even reset the view? I really hope I can reset the view. Well, well, I don't know. I have not resetted the view, so I'm currently sitting outside of the airplane. Yeah, this is very weird. I could probably maybe just do the calibration in SteamVR very fast, and hopefully it's gonna work. I was really not prepared for that. So yeah, starts it up. I'm just gonna do it very fast. You probably... Okay, guys, I think something just screwed up. I hope I'm online again. I really hope so, because something just screwed up while I was starting off the game. And yeah, I'm just doing the small calibration here in the P-Tool, and then I'm going to show you off the game again. It should work. I think it's a little bit too demanding doing all this at the same time while I'm recording it. But I will really give it a try, because you really asked for it, and I will do that. I'm going to try to reply all your questions, I promise. But yeah, it's going to take some time. let's see if it goes well this time. I really hope so. Well, at least, well, I don't even know why I'm not resetted right now. I'm still in the wrong view for now. It's really weird. But anyway, I can just show you that, yeah, you can practically not lean around. Why is this so weird? This is really oh man, this is embarrassing. Okay, if I just go to the main menu, yeah, this is better. I think this is better. Hopefully you can just see what I'm doing right now. I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, I think you're in the game. Yeah, so let me just show you. The menu here is kind of like glued in the same position. So I can turn around my head in any direction. I can lean it, of course, like that, but I can not lean against it, and so yeah, so it should be working, guys. I'm really sorry that I was really not prepared for this question, and I'm gonna quit the game now. And hopefully, well, I will do videos about this on here on my channel on Vive. I will cover videos where I'm trying simulators, flight simulators, racing simulators, and all this stuff on well, without any base stations running. So I think it's gonna work great. It should do, because I don't know if you saw my in the review, I was actually talking about that, and I tried what was that, Project Cars 2, and it worked just great with the without any lighthouses and the base stations. So yeah, guys, sorry for the mess. This was really a messy start, but I'm just gonna try to do better now. Brett, I hope you had got your question answered as well, at least. Okay, let's see. Alocam, how about screen door effect on a 8K versus 5K plus versus Oculus Go? I mean, if it's the headset, I can really compare the lowest screen door effect possible. So some from the meetup said 5K is similar to the Oculus Go. I can tell you that I have tried Oculus Go only once, and I did that on the Berlin meetup actually. And that was just occasionally because one of the guys on the meetup, I'm sorry, I don't even remember your name right now, but yeah, it was a really nice guy. He showed me one of his experiences on the Oculus Go, and I tried it, and I gotta tell you that I would say these headsets has a slightly better screen door effect. I was not that impressed about the Oculus Go, to be honest, and especially not about the frame rate. It almost felt a little bit like it was flickering for me. I don't know if that's because of 72 hertz, or maybe had the 60 frames or hertz on while testing that experience. But anyway, I would say that the screen door effects is at least as good on both the 5K plus and the 8K compared to the Oculus Go. So yeah, but I hope this answered your questions. I was actually planning to buy the Oculus Go a long time ago. The first date was announced or released, but I didn't do so because I thought it was just nothing for my channel, and I'm not really into the mobile stuff. So that's why I could not compare that, but I will give you more information about that later. Dildo of Doom is asking, does this VR set have 6 degree of field? How do you say that? 6 DOF, whatever. Yes, it has with light stations. You need to use the lighthouses or the base stations for from the HTC Vive, but Pimax is going to release the base stations soon. Also, I think they're going to start to ship in October, the first batch, as far as I know at least. And I am in the first batch actually. By the way, one thing I need to add this. I got email today, and I think some of you also got that email from Pimax asking me choosing between the 5K plus and the 8K, because I did 2 pledges for the 8K, and I'm actually going to switch one for the 5K. And also it says that the first 100 backers are getting shipped anytime now. So first 100, but I think there are going to be a lot more before this month ends, but it sounds like the first 100 are going to get the headset, well, very soon. So this is very exciting news, and I really hope that we will get it, yeah, in a couple of weeks at least. I'm not sure how they're going to handle the the whole I mean shipment. They said they're gonna ship the headsets to Europe, and then they're gonna, well, spread it around everywhere. Also, they're gonna ship it to America first, to some station or something like that, so you don't have to pay any taxes. Because for every headset I got from Pimax, those testing units, I'm gonna send them back, of course. Those testing units, I had to pay a toll fee of 650 crowns, and that is around 65 euro, around 65 euro. So yeah, but I think they're gonna solve that so you don't have to pay for that. At least that would be optimal, and they should really do that, and I really hope they're gonna do that. So yeah, let's see. I'm so behind in the questions here. I really hope that you still see me now. I think so, because I have my laptop in front of me here, double checking so everything is working. I went offline a little moment, but I'm sorry for that. But yeah, hopefully it's gonna work better now. So let's see. DocCube, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your super chat. I really appreciate that. Thanks, man. Do you need the Vive link box connected to use the Vive controllers with the Pimax? Also, if both 5K and 8K have super sampling set to 2 times 2, which one looks better in game? Well, first off, no, you don't need the link box at all, because the Vive controllers, both of the Vive controllers are, when I switch them on, they are connected to the headset. So you pair them with the headset. I can show you that very fast here. Hopefully, I think so. Hopefully this is gonna work. I'm not sure why my backgrounds are not showing up anymore. This was weird. Damn it, something just happened, so I cannot show you my backgrounds. That was bad. Oh man, I think I'm gonna need to do something here to get this to work. Anyway, these are connecting. Man, those shortcuts are not working as they should. These are connected to the headset, and when you connect them to the headset, they're just going to run fine. If you have Vive trackers, for example, then you're going to need to use those dongles included with the Vive trackers. So basically, you don't need that that link box at all. That link box is actually communicating between the lighthouses, as far as I know, to turn them off and on, you know, when you're starting Steam VR and so on. So yeah, this is it. And also the second question here, man, this is so messed up today, because I'm really struggling. I cannot get the desktop to work here. Also the second question, well, set the super sampling to 2.0 on the 5K and 8K. I can promise you that there's no game whatsoever that you can play with that high super sampling. If I could just get that damn desktop alive again, then I could show you, but hopefully I will be able to do that. Let me just see if I can just add a screen here to the desktop. Man, this is so bad. What just happened? I cannot see my screen. It's just totally dark right now. So yeah, this is really weird. You can only see the chat right now and my camera here, I assume, and the desktop should be there, so I'm not sure what's really happening. But yeah, anyway, I am gonna solve this. Anyway, the Steam VR super sampling, you will probably never need to use it above 100%, because the whole resolution part is better handled with the P tool, the software that Pimax is using. And if you want to super sample the image more or render it with a higher quality, you better just bump up the P tool. P tool rendering quality slider in P tool. So it's much better. And I have not even, I tried one game, I think it was Skyrim VR, with a super sampling of 150 just to push the graphic card a little bit, but I could not see any difference whatsoever. I think once you go like P tool 1.5 or maybe 1.75, you will not see any difference in super sampling in Steam VR. And that's the thing also when you go down, and that's the cool part about it. If you go down with super sampling, it will actually not affect your image that much until you go below 30%, let's say 34-36%, somewhere there, then you're gonna start to see some jagged edges. So yeah, I would not even recommend you to go with super sampling in 100% for now. It's just not you don't need to, because you won't see much. You're just rendering a higher resolution, but the headset itself, it's not going to show you much of a difference in terms of image quality. So yeah, let's see. So if P-Tool is at 2, does the 8K or 5K look better? Well, okay, this is a hard question, because I would say that you get less screen door effects, of course, on the 5K plus and 8K. I mean, less screen door effect, and you get a little bit more details at far distance in flight simulators, especially in flight simulators, and also in game simulators or racing simulators, where you see things at very long distance. Then you will get a little bit more detail of those small little things like cars and stuff flying, but it's a minor difference, to be honest. It's not a huge difference, and that's probably just because of the resolution itself. The clarity would probably be almost the same. I would say that the clarity will still be a little bit better on the 5K, and that's the clarity on the shorter distance, especially if you're looking at some menus, some text. I think the clarity, the whole thing about clarity, is mainly because of the pixel pattern, the pixel matrix that the 5K is using, 5K plus is using, compared to the 8K. The 5K plus is using a more straight, vertical and horizontal pattern, while the 8K is using a more, it looks more like this, you know, the pixels are just arranged like some kind of diagonal arrangement. So you're gonna see it differently a little bit, especially in text. Text which is not on white or light backgrounds, it's gonna actually look better on the 8K when you super sample it to around 1.5 or so. But if you go lower, I mean P-Tool super sampling, P-Tool rendering, do not confuse those two. But if you are rendering on P-Tool 1.0, I have actually a hard time to say. I wouldn't say that the 8K is so much better. It is better, but I would say that the 5, it's very hard, because it really differs depending on what experience you play. And in Elite Dangerous, both me and all the testers there, I mean most of the testers at least, actually saw that the 8K was producing a little bit more sharper text. But that was like yellow and white text on black or dark background. While if you go on a white background and black text, then it's totally opposite for some reason. It's very strange, and I think it's about the yes, of course, I mean P-Tool settings is gonna affect the quality of the text and everything, but it's still the screen door effect that does the real difference. And how do you say that? The native quality of the image processed with the 5K plus, it's slightly better. It's more, it feels more polished. It feels, if you have tried Vive Pro or Odyssey, you're gonna get familiar. You're gonna get familiar with that clarity of the screens. Even though I think the 5K Plus is actually better than both the Vive Pro and the Samsung Odyssey. Michael, thank you so much for your super chat. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused here. I don't know what I'm gonna do, because my desktop is not showing up right now, and I'm so I was supposed to show you so much stuff here, but I'm not sure if there is any method to actually bring it back. If I just go into the desktop mode, it's just not showing anything besides my black screen, and it's just very frustrating. I'm not sure if I'm gonna fix it. Chris Whitlow, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate that, man. Thanks for your extensive review. It's awesome. 2 questions. Do you expect that everyone changing to 5K Plus will affect the delivery time to backers? For backers? Well, I'm not sure. Pimax said that they're going to ship around 50-50, both 5K and the 8K. Maybe, but as far as I know, they are prepared for a switch, that a lot of people are going to switch, and we already told them that in Berlin, that a lot of people will probably go with the 5K Plus just because of the clarity. So I really hope that's not going to affect that, but I cannot fully reply to your question or answer that question. I hope not, at least. I hope not. It's not going to affect anything. I hope they just like push a button and then the production starts and they can just like well, decide if they want to make more 5K pluses or 8K plus 8K units. And I think they have panels enough at least for like tens of thousands of units already now. I think I remember that Robin, the CEO of Pimax, actually told us that. And Chris Whitlow again, wow, thank you so much, man, 2 times. Second question, is there likely to be an option to send an 1080p signal to the 8K as 1080p to 4K is cleaner to upscale? Yeah, that's something I'm actually wondering too, and I didn't get any reply from the Pimax yet. They are very secret about the whole rendering of the panels, how it's processed, how the P-tool renderer is working. So I requested even during that M1 beta testing phase, I actually requested to get some kind of slider or option to do custom resolutions in P-tool, just to check any resolution that I would like yeah, 1440p natively or whatever, but they didn't add that, and I'm not sure if it's because it's not possible or if it's because they're saving this for a later future. So I cannot tell you if this is going to be available. I also think that 1080p upscale to 4K is going to be better because you're just basically, well, doubling the size of the image, and that will be kind of like a pixel to pixel upscale. So yeah, it should work better, I think, even though the resolution, the signal resolution is lower. But I hope they're going to add that. And I'm sorry, but as soon as I get that answer, I am going to reply to you, Chris. So stay tuned. Sorry I could not give you that full answer. By the way, I see PSVR Frank is here, and we have some other people here as well, I think. Wow, there's so many of you in here. Thank you so much for joining, all of you. Wow, and I'm just talking gibberish right now. I have already problems with the desktop, and I think it was because of the OBS crash. And I'm really gonna try to get it to work in a second. We'll see how it goes. So yes, let's see. Turn the camera and turn it towards desktop. Yeah, but it's difficult. I have the camera mounted over there, so it's very difficult. I also have my the webcam if I just switch the view like this. But I'm just so bothered about I cannot show you the desktop because there's so much stuff I would like to show you, and just something just screwed up. And if I add a new browser or screen source, I get no image at all, and this is just so weird. So yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, let's continue. Gallard Dog, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate that. Also, as a backer, I really hope I don't miss anyone. Oh man, I missed so many. Wow, great Xerox, thank you so much for your super chat. And also Adam Suvawa, I really appreciate your super chats and your support. Yeah, Gallard Dogged, also as a backer, some pocket money when you're invited together with Thomas and Sebastian by Pimax to visit the factory in China. Well, I really hope that they are gonna actually invite us, they said. I was talking to Robin, the CEO, and he's gonna invite us. It was actually an idea from Sebastian from Mixed Reality TV or MRTV. So yeah, we're gonna be there, but I don't know when yet. Maybe by the time the controllers gets released, or the first DK1 or the development kit will be released somewhere between last quarter this year and the first quarter next year. So maybe around New Year or something like that, we'll get some kind of first kit where you can try the controllers, the knuckle controllers, you know. So yeah, really excited. Let's see. I'm really trying to catch up here, guys. XW Bubbles, I think it is. Does Pimax allow switching from 8K to 8KX? That might be interesting. I'm not so sure about that because Pimax always said from the beginning that they're only going to do 400 units of the 8KX. So this was kind of like a limited deal during the Kickstarter campaign. But I think that the demand has been so huge now. A lot of people want those native displays, and now it's also going to be possible with the new NVIDIA solution, the display link. So I really hope so, but I cannot answer that now. And I think if you are just a backer of the 8K, I'm not sure you will be able to switch to 8KX, because that would make it a little bit more harder for Pimax to actually process it all. You have to pay more money and so I'm not sure about that. I cannot answer that. So yeah, anyway, but I really look forward to it for the 8KX actually, and I will get it as soon as possible. I will pre-order it whenever it's possible, because I think native 4K resolution can really do a lot of things that the current 8K cannot. Okay, let's see. Greg Xerox. I asked Sebastian MRTV about comparison between 5K Plus and HTC Vive with mounted Gear VR lenses. He said visual quality is the same. What's your advice? Well, mounted. Do you mean quality? Visual quality? Well, the visual quality will be much higher on the Pimax 5K Plus, of course. I would say the God rays will be better on the Vive with Gear VR lenses, because those are just fantastic for God rays. But still, I cannot agree that the visual quality is the same. Even with super sampling of 200%, I cannot say that. No, I think the screen door effect is just destroying the image so much on the HTC Vive. If you mean HTC Vive Pro, then yes, then it's going to be very similar. Those lenses that Pimax is using is just so much better than the Vive lenses in terms of God rays and yeah, and everything. So sweet spot, especially sweet spot. Okay, so yeah, let's see, where are we right now? Man, I need to catch up here. Logman, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Is 1080 Ti enough, or should we upgrade to 2080 or 2080 Ti? That's a very good question. I would say that depends on what you are going to play. If you want to play those Unity engine games, we're talking about anything from Job Simulator or whatever, then it's totally fine with a GTX 1080 Ti. You can also, of course, play Skyrim VR with kind of a perfect frame rate, especially if you go down with the field of view. And if you tweak it a little bit, you can get it even with large field of view. You saw in my video there. And I think that GTX 1080 Ti will be far enough for everyone right now. But the problem is that there are coming more and more games that are super demanding, even when using GTX 1080 Ti with a Vive Pro and even Vive. There are a few games that I really had a struggle with the Pimax 8K, and those are, a lot of them are Unreal Engine games. They are really demanding, unless they use some kind of special rendering like Batman Arkham does. It uses the NVIDIA rendering type, and then it really actually, NVIDIA rendering, multi-rendering I think it's called. And then it really helps the performance. But there are Unreal Engine games that really struggles with frame rate. So yeah, for that, if you really want to play those best games, all games, well, assuming that the 2080 Ti is at least 30% better than the 1080 Ti, then you could probably play most games in a very good frame rate, probably max frame rate. Unless we're talking about flight simulators like X-Plane 11, I don't even think that the 2080 Ti will help, because that frame rate was so bad, especially if you want that simulator to look okay with this P-Tool 1.5 or at least 1.25. The frame rate is going to go below 40. It's crazy. So that means that the 2080 Ti would need to run double speed or whatever. I mean, the improvement needs to be like double for it to really make a difference, or make it to run perfectly. So yeah, let's see. I see. I already saw Sweet Viver video demoing the Pimax with X-Plane. Yeah, I did so in the review. That was actually my last game I tried with the Pimax. I think it was the 5K I tested it on in the video, but I tried it on both, and for both headsets, I would say you really need to bump up the super sampling or the P-Tool rendering quality 1.5 until X-Plane 11 looks okay. I would say it's still not perfect, but it's at least fully visually, looking good and not too jagged edges and so. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. Wow, I'm so excited, and I'm so stressed right now, and now it's struggling already with the desktop. I'm sorry, I'm just totally yeah. Jonathan Tate, time for thank you so much for your super chat, by the way. Thank you. Timeline for ASW. 1B/S works in Steam setup. One base station works. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that. Timeline for ASW, that's the asynchronous space warping, or the brain warp that Pimax is promising us, at least. I have no idea. We have so many times during the testing phase, during the 3 months, and the only thing they said is that brain warp is a mix of reprojection and projection features that you can use to double the frame rate in a way, and it's already been implemented partially, like the moving, is it called, not motion reprojection, it's like rotation reprojection, just like the asynchronous reprojection in Steam VR, and it works great. But the other motion reprojection, similar to the asynchronous space warp, is not working. So it's not working, it's not applied yet, not added yet, and I think they are working on it. I really hope so, because they have promised that and they really hyped it up, so I hope so, at least. And that would really save a lot of GPU performance, and that would really make all the simulators playable, because even when running as X-Plane 11, for example, in 45 frames per second, that would make it to look fully smooth, just like it does on the Oculus Rift. And also, one base station works in Steam setup. Yes, it does. No problem whatsoever. You can run either one base station or two, even more if you have those base station 2.0, but I don't have those, and you can run without. So yeah, so it's totally fine. But the only problem is that you need to center your space, center your vision in game. I mean, when I was trying the Project Cars 2, it was no problem. I was automatically sitting in the car. So it's really weird that it was not working right now when I tried Airfly FS2. And I'm sorry I could not try IL2, because this is my other Windows installed. So yeah. Anyway, let's see. Would X-Plane work with 2080 Ti? We'll see. Maybe 70 frames or so. It's going to be fully playable, of course, but it's not going to be fully smooth. I wouldn't say that. I'm not hoping for that much. I think that's too much to ask for. I don't think it's going to double the frame rate. No, I have a really hard time to believe that. Could you use 2 video cards to render individually each eye? Alessandro Zanoni says. That would be cool, but I have not heard anything about that yet. There seems to be some kind of talk about that from NVIDIA. Since long ago already. Pimax has no feature like that, so no, for now you cannot use more than 1 video card for the VR unless you have a few. There are some games actually supporting SLI or NVIDIA SLI or SLI, and like Series Sam, for example, the NVIDIA works, what is it called in Steam VR? There's like NVIDIA, yeah, those tests. It's like just like a benchmark game, I would say, Fireworks or something like that. Yeah, so no, 1 GPU for now at least, but they are talking about that NVLink support doing a better job now with the 2080 and 2080 Ti. So hopefully this will somehow be automated, so 2 graphic cards can just pump out the full performance for each card, maybe to each eye as well, because we're gonna, yeah, somehow, hopefully, but I cannot answer that. That's just too far away from it yet, and I haven't got the 2080 Ti either, so I cannot test that. So let's see. I'm so behind. It's a leap possibility, as the VR Maniac asked here. Hi, by the way. Well, yes, it works. It should work. I don't have 2 video cards right now, but I don't see any problem with it working in those games that support it right now, as the Series Sam games. Yeah, let's move on. Let's see. Have you tried PlayStation VR, and if so, did you like it? I only tried it on a few conventions and at one of my friends as well. I could say that the screen door effect is great, but the whole image is very blurred. I think it's filled to low resolution. the screen door effect is not a problem here, but the resolution is still a problem. And yeah, I was not that surprised, and I was not that impressed. And I was also trying a racing game, and it was constantly reprojecting. It was so obvious for some reason. And yes, I'm talking about the PSVR, and I know it's running in like 120 frames per second, but I think that racing game was running like 60 frames per second, and then doubled up in that internal whatever thing is internally up, yeah, hiring the frame rate to 120. So yeah, let's see. Saros, thank you so much for being the moderator here. I'm trying to catch up here, but you are much better than me doing all this. Virtual Gamesters, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate that. Great work, brother. Thanks. I really did my best, guys. I really did my best with that review. And if I had like one more week, I would probably do it even better. I would actually add more stuff. I would add more gameplay footage. I would add more better editing even, because in some parts I just added some kind of a gameplay in the background while I was talking, because I had to like fill up that time with something. But yeah, if I just had some more time, I would make it even better. But and I will actually, I'm starting to think about doing a short review of the 8K and 5K, just maybe cutting out a lot from the long review and just putting it together to a half-hour video, so just to make it easier to look and without going too in deep either. Let's see. Any word of foveated rendering for a later upgrade? Nothing there, and I think that's going to be some kind of a software solution if it's going to be applied to Pimax. So yeah, it's nothing there yet. I hope so as well. That would be really cool. For now, I mean, if you try Batman Arkham, for example, you can do like some kind of software version of foveated rendering. It's only gonna render the image. It's not gonna render the battery image at the sides, of course. It's gonna just like center the best image in the center, and then it's gonna kind of like do some kind of low resolution around. And it actually works okay on the Pimax, but I think it needs software support here before it really gets applied to games. Some kind of new drivers or runtime or whatever. We'll see. Virtual Gamesters, thank you so much again. Well, it's the second time now. Take it easy. Thank you. Sorry it came in as $2. Man, you know, $2 is a lot. Seriously, it's a lot of money, especially if you make it times 10, then it's even more money. Please do not think this way. I really appreciate anything you're doing for me. I really appreciate that, guys. Wow, there's so much comments here. Oh, I just missed someone. Which frame rate is better with the 8K or 5K? Assetto Corsa or Race Room? Well, I would say the frame rate is the same as long as you're using the same settings in P-Tool. That was actually Gallard Dog again asking. But the thing is that, I don't mean frame rate. I mean the performance is the same, but you will get 80 frames per second on the 8K, and you'll get 90 frames per second on the 5K plus. And the thing is that I do not see any difference whatsoever between the 80 frames or the 90 frames. Currently, it's even 91 for a reason. I don't know if you saw that in the video. I think it's just like a software bug or something. They're gonna solve that, but I cannot see that difference. And also, Assetto Corsa I think it looks very nice already on P-Tool 1.0, but if you upsample it to 1.5 or use P-Tool rendering of 1.5 with Assetto Corsa, of course you're gonna get a little bit sharper image. But I would say that Assetto Corsa I wouldn't say it looks much better on the 8K. Compared to some other flight simulators. It may be because of the anti-aliasing that I'm always using in Assetto Corsa, because I think it's doing a great job. If you turn it off, you may see a little bit more details with the 8K, just because of the, well, better pixel density and so. But in terms of performance, it all depends on what you are pushing out from from P-Tool. So yeah, of course, you're gonna need 10 less frames for the 8K, but I think Assetto Corsa is a bad example, because Assetto Corsa is actually running really great even on GTX 1070 if you go down a few settings in game. And so maybe yeah, P2 1.0 especially, do not go below above there on the 1070. So is it worth going from CV1 to Pimax? Yes, absolutely. As I told you already, the 8K and the 5K are, in my opinion, the best headset on the market. No doubt. There's no doubt. And not only for the resolution, screen door effect or whatever, but the field of view, it makes a huge difference. It's the biggest difference of them all, and it really makes that Pimax shine. You know, it's, if it only was about resolution, I would actually, let me tell you this, if 5K Plus actually looks better than the Vive Pro and my Odyssey. I don't have Vive Pro, but I tried it a couple of times, and it looks better in terms of screen door effect and clarity. But the thing is that only upgrading for the clarity, I'm not sure about that. But what you get with the Pimax is the field of view, and that is what really makes that purchase worth it, I would say. It's the field of view and the resolution and the clarity and more. So yeah, I mean, hand tracking, there's going to be so much stuff here. So only for the resolution bump, nah, well, for me, Pimax is the field of view, mainly, basically. I know I went very in deep on the through the lens videos and photos and so, but that was mainly for you. I would say I'm not that bothered about the screen door effect, and that was also one of the reasons I actually chose the Pimax 5K as my most favorite headset, or the 5K Plus, of course. Just because I think that the performance and the clarity is much more important for me and appreciated more by me than the slightly better screen door effect. And so, but both headsets has the same field of view, so whatever you choose there, you're gonna be so happy about that. Wow, Tom On, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Wow, that was way too much. Thanks for addressing the sweat question I posted to you on Pimax forum. How well did Subnautica do on the Pimax? Thank you for all your contributions. Thank you so much, man. Well, the sweating first. You are gonna sweat. Of course you are gonna sweat. That's the thing. And I've been sweating so much. I soaked the whole padding, or the padding. What am I talking about? The those face cushions, face pads, or whatever you call them. But I mean, that's not an issue because it feels quite. I mean, first of all, you have this all separated with that plastic thing, and it feels very, very, yeah, it feels like it's not gonna go through. Oh, I just turn on the volume or turn off the volume. So I think the plastic does something, but also the lenses, I mean, under the lenses, you have like a protection layer. So I don't think you are gonna hurt the panels in a big way. And also there is no opening here in between, not as far as I know, until you go up here on the headset. Opening, I mean like a split between the plastic. So I don't see any big problem with sweat coming in, to be honest. So no, sweat is not a big issue at all. And Subnautica, yes, well, if you just launch Subnautica from first, you're gonna get like a frame rate of 60 frames per second or something like that with P2 1.0. But if you go down on the in the settings that are built in the console, they're like, I think you push like F1 or F2 or F4, those buttons. If you push them, then you are gonna be able to turn off some of the settings, the LOD, for example, the level of detail at distance. The shimmering effect also, that's really distracting actually, especially with a wide field of view. It's very distracting, to be honest, having all this shimmering, so you can turn it off, and some other things you can turn off in the console, and it's gonna give you, I could, to be honest, I could play it with full frame rate, almost between 75 and 80 frames per second on the 8K M1 at work. That's why I spent so much time in Subnautica. And it was just running great on my GTX 1070 laptop. So if you just push a change, I mean, the settings in Subnautica, it's gonna really run great on your setup. So yeah, Subnautica, it's a beautiful game. It really is awesome on the 8K. It's one of my favorite games now. It's just, even though it's just a sitting down game, you're just sitting there, you're just like, I mean, using what is it called, gamepad, but still it's so immersive and so scary as well that once you go down deep in the ocean. So yeah. Wow, thanks guys so much, thank you so much. I'm so behind here, I'm just trying to scroll up here. Renaud Richard, thank you so much, I really appreciate that, your support. And also Sumatra Animator, one of my oldest patrons, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I actually posted a short video on Patreon just before we started off this live stream, when I was setting up everything here. I do a lot of those, you know, behind the scenes stuff on Patreon. So yeah, it's quite cool to just show off how messy my room looks sometimes. Okay, let's get back on topic, guys. I know I'm talking way too much. Let's see. We don't have. How much light comes from the nose gap? Well, that's a very good question, Robertas. There is some light coming in, and I would say that it's not distracting. But if I just show you, I don't know if you're gonna see it, but if I just look at it, I have like a huge light right now in front of me, like an umbrella light here. And if I just look out, yes, it's totally visible. Yeah, I would say it's like, well, I don't know. It's like a half a centimeter on each side or something. Half a centimeter, I would say. So yeah, you will get some problems. But as I said in the review, there's going to be nose flaps added, included in the boxes. So that's coming from Robin, the CEO. And he showed me a prototype or a version of these nose flaps. They're going to be added. They're going to be quite similar to the HTC Vive kind of thing. It's not really like the Samsung Odyssey version, which was quite distracting, which you had to push it out with your nose. It's really distracting and it's almost hurts your nose. But I don't think that light thing is going to be a problem once the flaps are there on place. And as I understand it, you're just going to be able to attach them very easily and take them away if you don't need that. Usually when I play games, I mean, I don't use that much of light in the room unless I record games. So for me, that's not a big problem with the light, but I understand that it could be a problem without those nose flaps. Sweetviver Senna B is limiting the frame rate to the hertz of 5K or 8K on the GPU, giving headroom in higher quality settings in game. Well, I actually covered that in the review. It does so if you use the same settings on the in P-Tool. For example, if you use P-Tool 1.0, which gives you a specific resolution, that's going to give you well, it's going to give you the same performance in both headsets, of course. But because the 8K is limiting it to 80, then you don't need to render more than 80, and then you're going to get perfectly smooth image. You know how a smooth image really feels in VR. It just feels like perfect. It's just like water, you know. Everything is just perfect, and that frame rate is easier to manage on the 8K. But there is also a problem, as I mentioned in the review, that, well, practically everything on the 8K looks a little bit less jaggy and worse unless you start to super sample the image more in P-Tool. And that's why if you are going for the 8K, you will need to use, if you really want to get rid of those jagged edges and so in most titles, especially in sharp games, you know, you will need to go at least P-Tool 1.25, maybe 1.5, and that also means a higher render resolution, and that means lower frame rate. So maybe you can still keep those 80 frames per second, but that's not sure anymore. So the difference between 80 and 90 that you just gained, or the performance gain you just did, it's gonna be like leveled out by the rendering quality increase that you need to do to really get that picture that you are actually expecting, because you are expecting kind of a degree of picture quality on the 8K, and it doesn't really deliver that with P-Tool 1.0, I would say. Okay, well, let's see, where are we? We are past that, Subnautica. Let's see, do we have something more? Was watching your review, seeing you live. Well, thank you so much, guys. James, Jesper, VR Gimp, Jordan, there's so many of you, and thank you so much, Satos, for being here, being my moderator today. Satos is one of my patrons as well. So let's see. Ty ES, thank you so much for your super chat. Which one is better for adult movies? I wouldn't say there is such a huge of a difference, and there is a problem that is beyond the headsets. I think that I have tried VR porn from quite reliable sources, paid websites. I think real virtual reality porn or something, real VR porn or something like that. It's like a subscription, so I had to like add that, and then you download the videos which are like 3, 4, 5, 6 gigabyte in size. But I still think that when they are recording those movies in 180 degrees, you're still never going to get that full 100% sharpness that you get from a normal movie watching it on a screen. So you kind of, the difference between the 5K plus and the 8K kind of gets diminished, or it just disappears because of the image is limited in a way, the rendered image of the movie clip itself. So I would say that I would say it's not much of a difference, but the 5K has better 5K plus has better clarity in practically everything, and especially in apps with menus and so, like big screen or like a simple VR player. So everything is going to be a little bit much more clarity, and you cannot. I need to add that, okay? I need to add that, and a lot of people will probably kill me for saying that, because maybe not all people are going to agree with me, but no matter how much you really super sample the image in p-tool or higher the p-tool rendering quality, at short distance in those menus in SteamVR, for example, in SteamVR dashboard, the 5K plus is still going to look better. It's still going to look more native, more crisp, more clear. You know, that's the difference. And that doesn't matter what image quality you're pushing into it. I think it is because of the pixel matrix. As I said before, it's like that instead of that. So every straight line, everything, those menus are going to look better on the 5K plus, no matter what settings you use in p-tool. So yeah, I think a lot of people may not agree with me once they get their headset, but for me, it still feels like the clarity is better on the 5K, no matter what. On far distance, I would say that the 8K can produce a more detailed image, but then it also requires that the game itself is rendering a high resolution image. That because IL-2, for example, may be kind of a bad example, IL-2 Sternwijk, because it's no matter what p-tool you use, no matter what settings you use in game, somehow it's gonna give you the game just doesn't feel, or the simulator just doesn't feel like it's really rendering in the best resolution possible. It's maybe it's limited in the engine or something. So yeah, but anyway, yeah. Dal to Dal, hey man, nice to see you here. Wow, you have been with my channel, I think it was like 1.5 years or something. A lot of you have been, of course. Has Pimax confirmed that p-tool can run Oculus home game native? Well, they have not confirmed that, but I can confirm that they're running it natively. At least it's not using, let me tell you this way, it's not using SteamVR at all. You can turn it off, you can uninstall SteamVR, and it's still going to run the Oculus home games. Not all, there are a few examples which of games which actually both works better using Revive, but also there are a few games that are not even starting with the p-tool launcher. But there are a couple of games, I'm going to go more into detail about that in some other videos or maybe in another live stream. But they have not confirmed how it's really rendering, if it's natively going through the p-tool render, which I actually think, or if it's going through Oculus rendered. But then again, if it was going through Oculus rendered, why is it then not using the ASW reprojection? Because it's not. So I don't know. I mean, you see the Oculus controllers. So I don't know, but it's natively without SteamVR at least, and that's awesome. I think that's awesome. And I think if let's say Pimax or Pimax can actually add some kind of SteamVR overlay into Steam VR, just like the advanced Steam VR advanced settings, and also like Revive, if they can add like a menu in Steam VR. I mean, think about how cool it would be to just start off games through it. But then again, oh yeah, you're bypassing, you're not going through Steam VR. I'm not sure if I still think it's a great feature that to be able to play Oculus Home games without Steam. So yeah, and also the Pimax. When you turn on the Pimax without Steam VR, if you have the P-Tool Home enabled, you're gonna see like a galaxy background, you know, like a 360. You can just turn around with the room scale, of course. It's like a simple Unity project. You're standing in on a planet or something like that. And I think that Pimax is going to add menus and stuff, so you can pick games, and just something like the Pimax 4K has already, as far as I know. So we will probably be able to just start off those games, those Oculus Home games, from that menu in P-Tool Home, or yeah, whatever it's going to be called. So yeah, I think it's a great feature. Anyway, let's go on here. Serenity, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate that. Google Cardboard or Pimax 5K Plus? More seriously. No, well, I have never tried Google Cardboard, so I'm sorry, I cannot even answer that. I've tried some other stuff, but Google Cardboard is just a piece of cardboard, so I don't know. It's still the same, it's still your phone. Yeah, anyway, seriously, colors on the Pimax versus Odyssey, excluding blacks, and screen door effect when casual gaming. Well, in terms of screen door effect, I think it's better. I think it's better on both headsets compared to the Odyssey. The Odyssey has that OLED pixel matrix, whatever it's called now, pentile, and it's producing kind of like a more shimmery image. I don't like this, especially in the edges. They're going to be more jagged. The screen door effects is, I mean, it's greatly improved from the HTC Vive and Oculus Rift, but it's still a bit. There is a difference between the Pimax and the Odyssey. In games, yes, and also, yeah, I mean, in every feature you play in VR. Colors, it's very different because both the 8K and the 5K Plus has very different colors, as I told you in the review. I would say that some colors are better represented on the OLED panels that Samsung has, and those colors are, if I don't remember it right, I think that's green colors actually. Green colors looks better on the OLED, I think that at least. While red colors look a little bit more pale, or maybe it was the opposite. But yeah, there are both cons and pros here. So I would say that you won't see, if you're just, okay, if you're doing like head-to-head comparisons, you will see the difference between the colors. But I wouldn't say that the colors are bad in any way compared to the OLEDs. Of course, the black levels, as you excluded here, is going to be worse, but still you get used to it. You get used to it very, very fast. So colors not a problem, even though I'm a little bit concerned about the difference in colors and the color temperature or hue between the two headsets. Maybe it's because of my 5K being different. It feels a little bit more coldish in the colors, and I wouldn't say it's good. I personally actually prefer the warmness of the 8K in games, at least. It gives you a more pleasant experience, I think. But yeah, well, hopefully we'll see when I get my 5K sent, or one of those backer units that I pledged for, and the new 8K. I'm gonna send those units back. Then I'm gonna give you a new comparison. Then I have at least 2 brand new headsets again, and then I can do a fair comparison. I'm not gonna do a 2-hour video again, but I'm gonna do some kind of comparison video between those two, or many videos. So yeah, so we'll see about the colors. Let's see, where are we? Wow, there's so many questions, and let's see how many are. I don't have that window up here. Let me just check. Wow, we are 363 people watching, guys. Oh my god, I just got nervous. And I'm just talking gibberish here. Wow, okay, let's get back to work now. Can you explain the frames per second cost of increasing super sampling on an 8K to match the 5K plus quality? It's very different to give you exact numbers, Ricardo, but when you are changing the super sample or the rendering quality value in P-Tool, you are hiring up this the resolution rendered both horizontally and vertically. So I would say that, I mean, if you're going 1.5, you won't be able to see P-Tool. I'm just going to try it here, just for the fun of it. I'm just going to turn off. You are not able to see it right now, unfortunately, because of my desktop just died in OBS. But if I go with rendering quality of 1, let's say rendering quality of 1, and in P-Tool, and we start up SteamVR, and I go into the settings and I go into video at 100% super sampling SteamVR. I'm gonna have a resolution of, this is normal field of view, by the way, not large. I'm actually running it on normal right now. 2960 times 2632. That's the resolution for P-Tool 1.0. So 2900 times 2600. Let's say that. Let's close SteamVR. I actually showed you a couple of examples in the review also about this, about the difference in the resolution. Let's put up the quality in P-Tool to 1.5 and start up SteamVR again. So remember, 2900 times 2600. Let's go into settings, and now we have a 4443, or let's say 4400 times 3900. That's P-Tool 1.5, okay? That's way beyond 4K resolution. That's way beyond 4K resolution. 4K resolution, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to just give you an example. 4K is 3840 times 2160. That's 8.3 million pixels, right? Let's try that resolution. 4443 times 3949. That's 17.5 million pixels rendered per eye. If you go with super sampling 100% in SteamVR and P-Tool on 1.5, that's crazy. That's freaking crazy. That's the double. That's more than the double amount of pixels rendered than 4K native resolution. And that's why I'm sorry, I really wish I could show you this right now on my desktop, but it's, well, obviously it's not possible. There is simply no way we can run the games with P-Tool 1.5 and 100% SteamVR. That's why we're going down. And when I go down, I wish I could show you that as well, but when I go down to 50% in SteamVR and say still P-Tool 1.5, I'm going to have a resolution of 3140 times 2792. So the thing is that we went from 2900 times 2600 to 3100 times 2700, and that may not be a huge difference if you think about it, but there is a huge difference here, because going from 100% in SteamVR, SteamVR Super Sampling to 50 is not going to do much of a difference, to be honest. But the quality, the rendered quality that we just do with the P-Tool 1.5 is going to be so much better, and it's still going to be so much more obviously sharp and less jagged, even if you go down to that 50% resolution. And if I had that resolution on with field of view now on normal, well, SteamVR is actually measuring my performance while I'm doing a lot of other stuff here. We have OBS here and everything. It's actually recommending to use only 32% of the SteamVR super sampling. Man, I really need to get that desktop working. I can only show you this, and I can only show you the VR view, but I cannot show you the desktop itself, and that is so frustrating. I could maybe just like show you the desktop here. I don't know, maybe that's possible. I don't know. Let's try. Is that even possible? Let's see. Sorry for being such a noob and doing all this the wrong way. Okay, let's just put on the headset. I'm just gonna show you something here. Is this gonna be enough for you to see anything? Well, I don't think that's gonna be an optimal image to actually see anything here. Oh man, I'm not sure how this really is gonna work, but yeah, hopefully you can see something there when I'm gonna try to do some more examples later on. I'm really sorry that I screwed up with the with this desktop, and I think I need to restart OBS to actually fix this. So I don't know what happens. Please guys, if I turn off OBS once and then I jump back, does it cut the stream or what happens? Because I'm still new into this, I'm still trying to learn this. So yeah, I would really like to be able to show you how it actually looks. Let's see. I'm just gonna answer some questions here as well. Let's see. I'm so behind now. Wait a second. Regos Pantalon, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate that. Finally getting the recognition you deserve. 370 people. Wow. Thanks, man. Well, I don't know. You know, I don't know if I deserve it or not, but at least I'm very happy that you are all of you are here, and I still don't feel that I'm. I don't feel that I'm actually giving you much info right now. I really hope I do. I will try to do my best here. Wait a second, I have more things here. TIS, I always said thank you to you, and I also have more questions here. Christian Best, a little compensation for the hardworking VR enthusiast. Thank you so much, man. Also, we have Jimmy Denhia, street price estimated for the 5K plus. I can convert. Thanks for the best in-depth tip review. Well, thanks, man. First of all, thank you, Jimmy. I'm not sure, but the thing is that the 5K plus will be more expensive than the 5K. It's not going to be $350. I would say it's going to be more expensive, and I would say that just because of the huge improvements you get in terms of clarity, or huge, but there are obvious improvements in clarity. I would say that the difference between the 8K and the 5K plus in price range will not be that huge, and you can already see that even before we have an announcement here. We can actually see that Pimax is giving you $100 to spend on accessories. But as far as I remember, there was a bigger difference in price between the 5K, the original 5K, and the 8K. So maybe the 5K plus only will be $100 or so cheaper than the 8K. Yeah, but I cannot give you the exact price. We have been balling around with the price, or not balling around, we have been discussing about the prices. So with the CEO, Robin, it's still kind of like confidential, secret information, what price ranges they're actually looking at. And as far as I know, that's not public yet, so I cannot tell you that. But it's going to be a human price. It's going to be a, how do you say? It's going to be a acceptable price, all right? It's not going to be an ridiculous price. So yeah, don't worry too much about the price, I would say. Let's see. Paul Bellino, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate your support. You know I'll always support you, and thank you for your hard work. Thanks, Paul. I'm so happy about this. Yeah, wow, this is crazy. There's so many questions, and I wish I could just like clone myself. One step. I have a question regarding the frame rate refresh rate. Do you game on a 144 Hz monitor? And if you do you notice the way lower 80 Hz on the Pimax 8K? As I said before, no, I see no difference between 90 and 80 frames per second. No. And I have no 144 gaming display actually, but I have a 120 on my laptop. And sure, I see a huge difference between 60 and 120, but I would not say that I can see any. It's very difficult to compare these two, because one, you have it on the monitor, and then you have it in the headset. It's just like totally different thing to measure the frame rate. But I would say don't worry about the 80 frames per second on the 8K. It's really not a problem at all. It feels exactly the same. There's no like a ghosting, no lag, no. It's not like watching 60 frames per second when you still see like a judder all the time. You don't see that with 80. I think that's kind of, there is probably a limit of around 70 frames per second or 70 Hertz where your eyes don't notice it anymore, I would say. Even though you can see a difference between 120 and 144 frames, of course, on the monitor, but we haven't seen how VR works with pure 144 Hertz. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's going to be even more fluid and everything. I don't know. We'll see about that in future. But for now, no, don't worry about 80 frames per second. Wow, let's see. Funkfinger, I'm so behind in the comments right now. How much do I need to dial down settings to achieve constant 90 frames per second on 5K plus and 80 frames per second on 8K in most games? As I said before, it's like a balanced thing between image quality and resolution and performance. So with 5K plus, I would say do not go below 1.0 in P-Tool on in any game. It doesn't matter which headset you use, because once you go below 1.0 in P-Tool, it really starts to look bad. Just like you're doing like Steam VR super sampling on 0.7 or something like that. It really doesn't look good. So I wouldn't say that you need to go down in settings to get those 90 frames per second, because to really enjoy those games, you would need to use a higher P-Tool value for the 8K anyway. So if you're worried about the frame rates, I would definitely go for the 5K plus, just to be able to use the headset with a fully acceptable image, with a great image on P-Tool 1.0, and still the best frame rate possible. And you cannot really do that on the 8K. Not now, at least. Not until they have improved this rendering or whatever, however that works, you know. So let's see, where are we? Man, I'm really trying here. There's so much comments here, and there's so much stuff here. Sorry, guys. Thomas Howard, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support, man, Thomas. I have a 1080, not Ti. Should I go for the 5K plus or the 8K? I would say 5K plus, definitely. I think it's gonna work much better on the 8K just because of the reasons I just told you. You can run P-Tool 1.0 in most games. It's gonna look awesome, and I think the 1080, not Ti, is gonna be able to handle games like Skyrim VR, because my 1070 actually can run those. If I just go down a little bit in the game settings, basically, if you were worried about the frame rates, go with the 5K plus, I would say, and it's still gonna look awesome. It's still better sharpness, better clarity, and better screen door effect than Vive Pro, and that says a lot, I would say. Sakib Amin, thank you so much for your support, man. If we combine eye tracking and foveated rendering, would the 8K visual clarity be better than the 5K in general? Visual clarity, no. I would say no. I think that the limitation of the upscaling, the internal upscaler, is doing something. At least now it's doing something wrong here. It's not upscaling the image as it should. Or maybe it's just because we are upscaling it from 4040 to 4K. It would maybe look better and more sharp if we were using 1080p to 4K. That's more of a 1:1 pixel or 1:2 pixel. We are upscaling, how do you say that? 2 pixels to 1 or 1:2. Yeah, it's more of a native upscaling, and we're not doing the native upscaling right now. I don't know if it's even called native upscaling, but it's still, there's a difference. There is a difference in 5K, and I don't think anything can make it as clear, especially at shorter distances. The 5K plus is really doing something special here, and it looks better than both Vive Pro and the Odyssey. And Pimax 8K, I have tried it so many times with P-Tool 2.0, and actually I need to tell you that before all this, before the Berlin meetup, there was older versions of P-Tool. We had the P-Tool rendering quality up to 3. I think they just rescaled the whole scale, so 3 before is 2 now. But still, I was using maximum just to see how it looks, and it was still not that native look of things, even though I was pumping out like a resolution of 7000 something times 4000 something. That's almost 8K resolution. So yeah, the scaler or the upscaler is doing something wrong, that's for sure, on the 8K. So, and I don't think that tracking or foveated rendering is gonna fix that. So yeah, Sakib, I hope I answered your question there. It's difficult to really really measure that clarity, but you can see that, and I think most people with a good vision are going to see that clarity difference. Wow, I'm so behind here. There's so many comments here. Well, let's see. Whoa. F man, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Take this beer for your great review. I'm gonna have a beer later. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Cheers. I'm gonna have a whiskey after this. Actually, I need to celebrate. Wow, this is crazy. And I'm gonna start also to reply all the comments. I'm gonna start to reply comments in forum, all the questions, because there are so many. I have done nothing so far. I really tried to make this stream to work today as good as possible. Then it screwed up anyway with this desktop view, but still. Wow, MRTV, Sebastian. Oh my God, I forgot your live stream. Thank you so much, man, for joining, and thank you for your support, man. You didn't have to pay. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna pay that back with some beer later on. Thanks, man. I need to scroll down now a little bit because I'm so behind. Thomas Howard. No, I already answered that. 1080. Go for the 5K plus, as I said. Really. Let's see what is happening here. Oh my God. Okay, if you see Veronica Okerfeld in that chat, that's my girlfriend actually. Doing great, babe. Thank you. Tack gumman. She's sitting in the next room. Oh man, this is so cool. She's hearing actually because I have not closed the door because the cats could potentially come in here. They're just gonna scratch on the door, so I cannot close the door here. Wow, okay, this was really cool. And also Trevor P, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate that. Beer monies for the great sweet. I actually need to admit, I do not drink that much beer. If I'm in Thailand, then I drink beer, but I actually prefer to just take a little small whiskey. And that's good enough for me. I get drunk enough, you know. But yeah, but thank you so much anyway. Guys, I really need to answer questions now. I'm just talking gibberish here right now, and we're so many people in here. It's just like crazy. 377 people, I think. It's crazy. Thanks, guys. Thanks, really. And I really hope you enjoyed my review. I really did my best. I really put my heart into this, and you can ask my girlfriend. She maybe can say something here, but I really put my life aside. I have not been talking to friends nor my family for 2 weeks in the phone until now. It's just getting out of hands. It got out of hand, you know. 16, 18 hours a day or even more, and then just sleeping for 4 hours, 3 hours sometimes, or even less. So yeah, but I think it was worth it. I think I really clarified a lot with that review, and I really think that you can now decide what you want to go with, especially you early backers now already choosing anytime. As I said before, 100 backers already are going to get it very soon. 100 of them, the first ones, has got the email, including me. But do not worry, it's not only a 100 batch. The next batch is going to be much bigger, and it's going to be probably also this month, at the end of this month. So yeah, and I think it's going to be at least 500 units or so. They are talking, I think in Berlin they said something about 700 or so, and they were talking about 50-50, 8K and the 5K plus, but now they're probably going to reconsider that now when I think like 70% of all people are actually switching to the 5K plus just because of our reviews. But I promise you, it's a great unit, 5K. And I'm not saying that the 8K is bad, and it's going to probably give some advantages in simulators for people, especially running, well, IL2 or not Assetto Corsa. I wouldn't say that. Assetto Corsa looks great on both. It's kind of very similar image. Even though I need to add that if you took a look at the screenshots, or the through the lens photos, you can actually see more details in the 8K image, even though it looks a little bit more blurry because of the upscaler. It doesn't look that native. Maybe the clarity looks better, but still you see more details at distance in the Assetto Corsa, and it's kind of the same thing with the project cars. But I was about to say that running flight simulators mainly, where you really need to see those small dots like airplanes, if you don't use any indicators for your enemies, you really need the best screen door effect possible, or the least screen door effect, of course. And that, I think that the 8K can gain you, that it can help you out. But for the general user, general VR gamer enthusiast, if you play Skyrim, if you play racing games, but also mix up with Job Simulator or whatever, you're gonna appreciate the 5K plus more. And it's gonna give you better frame rate, first of all, because you don't need to push that much resolution. It's gonna give you more clarity in menus when you're running big screen, when you're doing things in some games with a lot of menus and so. But still, it's I think for general user 5K plus, no doubt. And also I saw the reviews from Sebastian from MRTV and also Thomas from Voodoo D. They also agreed on that. So yeah, and we have not spoken about our opinions until now. Actually, we did not spoke about our opinions after the Berlin meeting, and we did not spoke during the whole 2 weeks phase when we did those reviews, because I think we all needed to give our own unbiased results and opinions without affecting our own opinion with others' opinions. Yeah, I hope it makes sense. Roberta's, so where do I order 5K? Well, the pre-order is going to be available from next month, they say. And under my review and also under this stream, hopefully I added the link to the newsletter, and they're going to announce that with a newsletter as soon as the pre-orders goes live. And also I'm going to give you that information same day, same hour as the pre-order starts, I promise you. I should change my name to P-Tool. I know, I'm saying P-Tool instead of P-Tool or Pi-Tool or wherever it's called. Pi-Tool, I think it's supposed to be. But I think that everyone was saying P-Tool at the Berlin backer meetup as well. So I know it sounds weird. F-Man, another beer or another whiskey. Cheers, man. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go. Pally, is 5K plus as good for standout BR and especially Pavlov as 8K? Yes, it is actually. Yes, it is. I would say that both, especially Pavlov, is using some kind of anti-aliasing, which is very, very good, very, very efficient. It's not going to look blurry, but it's still going to look so crisp and sharp, and the image, the clarity is really awesome. So I think it looks really good on the 5K, and I actually prefer to play it on the 5K. For some reason. I have just played it more on the 5K. I mean the 5K plus, of course. In terms of standout, that's a Unity engine game. It's a little bit different. You get a little bit more jagged edges if you don't pump up more resolution. Standout still looks very good in Pi-Tool 1.0. But if you really want to get rid of those edges, you will need at least Pi-Tool 1.25 or 1.5 even. But it's fully playable, especially on the 5K plus on with Pi-Tool. Let's say Pi-Tool for now, 1.0. So yeah, not much of a huge difference there. Yes, it's definitely as good as the 8K. The 5K plus, especially for those type of games. No doubt. Don't worry about that. Janik Hubert, how is the performance in War Thunder, 8K or 5K? Is the difference in screen door effect really that huge? I would say that the War Thunder, I don't even know why I did not cover that. Probably because I tried to limit myself in terms of games. I did like 22 of them in the review when I talked about them. But I actually recorded much more games than that. You probably saw them in the review, just like War Thunder. And I could not gain a stable frames per second in War Thunder. It was very similar to IL-2 in terms of performance, maybe even less, but it was also more blurry. But there are so many settings in War Thunder. I'm not a big fan of War Thunder because it just feels like a big mess jumping right into action in online, and you get like new pop-ups and stuff, and buy this, buy that. It's like a lot of in-game purchases. I'm really not a fan of that. So that's why I'm not doing much War Thunder, but I felt like the other simulators like IL-2, even X-Plane is sharper. It looks more sharp, it looks better than the War Thunder. But performance-wise, well, I would say, I mean, it's the same. As I told you already so many times, it's depends on what you really see as acceptable quality. If you can run P-Tool with 1.0, if you can stand those jagged edges here and there, of course you're gonna get 10 frames. You're gonna get 10 frames less to render for each second, and that's gonna give you a bigger chance to get a smooth performance in games. But then again, personally, I need to bump up the P-Tool with the 8K, and this is what I have been doing throughout my whole M1 testings. I actually used a lot of 1.5 and even 1.75 P-Tool in during the M1 testing, and I think it looks great. I think it does. And right before the M1 beta phase ended, they also changed some settings in the rendering scale, or the rendering quality scale in P-Tool. Now the 1.0 looks better than it did during the M1 phase. This P-Tool 1.0 really looked bad before. It looked worse, even though the resolution was high. So something was improved a lot in the render, even during that M1 beta phase. John Overall, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I believe it's pronounced P-Tool, not P-Tool. Pi-Tool. Pi-Tool, yeah. Pi-Tool. I'm so slow. Yeah, my girlfriend knows that. I wasn't even thinking about that. Pi-Tool. Thanks, man. Thanks, John. I'm gonna try to remember that. Pi-Tool. 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 What did I say before even? P-Tool. Okay, this is getting funny now. Sakib Amin, thank you so much again. Thanks for your answer. Well, thank you so much. You didn't have to pay again. Come on. I'm answering questions anyway. Thank you. Let's see. Don Brown, X-Plane 11 is moving to Vulkan in the next few months, which will give massive performance. Yes, I've heard about that, and that's great news. I really think that Vulkan support, instead of, I think it's using not OpenGL, right? I think it's using DirectX or something. Yeah, I think the Vulkan is going to help a lot in X-Plane 11, and it needs to. We should get at least 60 frames per second in X-Plane, I think. Especially considering the FS2 flight simulator, FS2 Airfly FS2 looks better and runs perfectly smooth. I was so much looking forward to show you some games. Oh, by the way, I can actually try games if you want. I can try anything if you want. I can even stand up, change the camera view and everything. If you want me to try anything here, that still works. The desktop is though not working. It's still black for some reason. I cannot get the output of the desktop, and that is a shame. But I cannot do that much about that. Heard the 8K units makes tea and coffee as well. No, not really, but I do good coffee. Oh well, have I missed anything? Serenity, thank you so much again. Well, again, do you notice screen door effect, or do you truly forget about that? Honestly, I would say I do not care about the screen door effect at all. If I would just like, I would say, you know, I've been using the HTC Vive for such a long time, and the Oculus Rift as well, even though I never used Oculus Rift that much as the HTC Vive, but I still think I was never really bothered about the screen door effects. I'm not probably the right person to ask about the screen door effect. I see the difference, but I'm not so bothered about it. I'm more into the immersion. I don't see things that I can actually look away from things that I don't want to see, and that's maybe a good thing, so I don't get disturbed about that. I get problems with God rays. I hate God rays, and I hate the blurriness, the small sweet spot on Vive, and so. But in terms of screen door effect, going from the Vive to Odyssey was awesome. It was really wow. And going from Odyssey now to 5K or the 8K is like, wow, there is an improvement actually. I was not even expecting it, because it actually looks very good on the Odyssey as well, and the Vive Pro, because they're using the same panels. But if I can forget that, yes, I do that all the time. I'm just, once I get immersed in the game, I don't see that screen door effect. And yes, if you look at the bright sky, white sky or blue sky or light blue, you're gonna see it, but it's really nothing huge. It's really nothing you will get bothered about. I really don't think so. So yeah, well, let's see. We have so many comments here. I'm trying to catch up here. I'm really trying to find some good stuff here. Okay, Gaha, or however you pronounce it. Your image is between 5K plus and 8K. The 5K plus appears sharper, but your explanation describes the opposite, that 8K is clearer, especially for distances. Is it different in headset over screenshots? Yes, that's the problem here. The perceived, I think it's a perceived image detail at distance actually feels better. I was so surprised when I did that through the lens photos of Digital Combat Simulator. You know that one? I was just zooming out to the right from the aircraft, and you saw one aircraft and one cart track, a big military cart track to the left of it. You know, and when I'm looking at those not screenshots, through the lens photos, you obviously see that it actually looks better on the 5K plus, but in the headset I still thought that it looks a little bit more sharper, not sharper, but more detailed on the 8K. And that's the thing. It's really difficult to understand, and not because of the optics. I mean, the optics are very great on the optics are really not in any way limiting the sharpness and so. So no, don't worry about that. But yes, it's really that's why I actually told you in the review. It's very difficult to make those comparisons with through the lens photos, because of the difference is not so obvious on the images maybe, and it maybe even look opposite. A lot of people says that most of the images looks better on the 5K plus if you take a look at the screenshots, but I think that's also because of the different panel pixel arrangement on the 8K compared to the 5K. Sometimes, or actually most of my time, if you're a Patreon, you actually have access to all of my through the lens photos. It's like 8 gigabytes. It's also some videos included. It's posted on my Patreon. If you look at some of the images, I had to how do you say it? Tilt the camera a little bit to the left or to the right, because if I took a photo just straight forward, the pixel matrix on the 8K really did something weird with the image. So a lot of the image looked very aliased and very wrong. But when I just tilted it a little bit, so the pixel arrangement probably inside of the camera of my phone taking that photo and the pixel arrangement of the panels themselves are not really colliding in a way. So you know what, I really hope you know what I mean. It's a different pixel matrix, and that's why those through the lens photos are maybe lying sometimes even. It's really weird, and it's quite, I don't know, it's almost frustrating that you cannot really tell you the difference that you get, that you actually get a little bit more details at distance. You know, IL-2, when an airplane is so far away, when you only see that, you know, the airplane is like 5 pixels or something, it looks more detailed on the 8K once you go at least P-Tool 1.5. So yeah, so you really need to higher the game rendered resolution. Okay, so let's see. Anyway, where are we? So yeah, that was the screen door effect, Serenity. Thank you so much again. Also, we have Andre von Salvitz. Thank you so much, man. I know you can't get a beer for Berlin prices over in Sweden, but anyway. Yeah, everything is so much more expensive in Sweden for some reason. I don't know. And we pay taxes on everything, and taxes upon that, and then taxes upon that. Anyway, big thumbs, man. Thank you so much. I'm celebrating with you. Thank you. I'm so for celebrating with Coke and Power King. That's the cheap version of Red Bull here in Sweden. It's it's much cheaper. That's why I prefer it. It's, right, one Red Bull could be like €3 here in Sweden. It's crazy. Gaha, thank you so much again. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Let's see. We have more questions here. How much do you think the 8K Plus will cost with controllers and base stations? I have no idea. We asked that the CEO, Robin. He didn't tell us anything about that. We don't know about the controllers. I wish I could tell you some hints, but I cannot. They were talking a little bit about some kind of price range for the 5K plus, but I don't think I'm allowed to tell you that. But the controllers and the base station, no idea. But I would say that, I mean, the base stations is still a lighthouse technology, so I don't think we cannot expect it to be so cheap. Anyway, it may not maybe cost $150 or whatever it costs on for the Vive, but I would not expect the base stations to be cheaper than $100 each. Maybe a little bit cheaper than the Vive, but not much cheaper. It's still base stations. It's still something in that technology, probably a license cost as well, as because of its Valve tracking system, or Steam. Yeah, Valve. Let's say Valve. So no idea. I wish I could, but as soon as I know, I will let you know. I promise, guys. Let's see. Which one between 8K and 5K would you recommend for people who watch movies in VR? Sachin Tar. I actually told you that in the review, that you get slightly less screen door effect, and yes, that's gonna be obvious in 8K. It's gonna look, I'm not saying that it's gonna look sharper, but you're gonna see less screen door effect, and in movies that's very apparent because you're not moving your head much. And if the image is totally still in the movie, let's say there is a talking scene in the movie, there's one person and then a white background behind him, you're gonna see that screen door effect more on the 5K plus, of course, more than you do in games. So if you purely want to use the headset for the movies, I would say 8K will bring you a little bit more better image. And also remember, whatever movie you watch, I would say that even if you look at Blu-ray movies, it's not going to be a pixel to pixel rendering, because you're sitting in big screen, you're sitting in well, a simple VR player, whatever app you're using for the movies, and that's why you are not gaining anything from the clarity of the 5K plus screens. So that's why I would say for videos I would go with the 8K, and there are also many more reasons, as well as the slightly better black levels. Slightly, I'm talking about slightly, okay? Contrast as well. You don't have those dots even on the 5K, on the 8K as you have on those 8K, and I can promise you those dots, you will 99% of the time or 95% of the time you won't see those dots in the headset while playing games. But if you just stare at the background, which is orange especially, a little bit reddish also, you will see those dots. And once you start to look at them, they're just like multiplying. They're just like, well, they're everywhere around you. And it's like a pattern. It looks like a diagonal pattern or something. It's very strange because the panel alignment is like this. Or the pixel alignment on the panels is very vertical and horizontal if you're looking straight. But the pixels, the black, not black, but the darker pixels going like this. And every 10th pixel or something like that, maybe every 7th pixel. So just because of that, just because of 8K does not have that, and just because of the better blackness, less screen door, for movies, go for the 8K, I would say. Yes, let's see, let's do more here. Oh, where are we? Oh my god, I'm just trying to catch up. There's so many questions here. Thank you so much, VR Ambassador. Thank you, man. One more addition to Patreon. Cheers, Ronald. I know, Ronald, thank you. You're already supporting me so much. Thanks. Oh, it was not necessary. Patrons, you don't need to give me more. You give me already so much. Thanks, guys. Serenity, again, how much maximum would you say the 8K is worth? Thank you so much, by the way, for your super chat, Serenity. I would say it's worth... this is a very tricky question, because you could probably hate me for that, but I would say if you compare it even with the hilarious pricing HTC Vive Pro, I would say it's worth more than the HTC Vive Pro. Not in terms of the price, but in terms of what you really get for the money. So if you are gonna compare it with Vive Pro, for example, then it's worth like $1,200. But the thing is that I think that the Vive Pro is way too overpriced. It should be around $600 maximum, especially in Sweden, where you have to pay like 10,000 crowns or like 1,000 euro, 1,000 bucks or even more for it. But 5K plus, I would say it is better. Of course, it's better in most ways. compared to the Vive Pro and Odyssey. So it's difficult. But I would actually expect something around 700 maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. 600 maybe if we're lucky. It's well worth it. It's worth every penny. And I mean, I pledged cheap on the back because I'm one of the first backers. I got the early bird. It was only 350 for the 5K, but that's only a 5K. That's only a backer price. Remember that they're losing money on those backer units. Most likely, just because the panels are more expensive. We don't know exactly how much information, how much more expensive they are. We didn't get that information from Robin, but they are more expensive to produce those panels because they're from Japan and not from some other China or Bangladesh or wherever. It's Japanese panels, and that's why they are expensive. So I would expect the price not to be below $600. Maybe 700. I cannot promise you because I don't know, but that's my own expectation at least. So it's worth it, yes. If it's worth it, yes. I would say it's worth more than that, but let's just be like consumer friendly here. I don't want to pay more than I need anyway. I mean, same for you guys. If we don't need to pay more, why should we pay more? I mean, and one day the wide field of view will be like mainstream. But for now, it's priceless. I would say it's priceless. I actually set up a limit for myself for around $2,000, $2,500. That's the maximum amount I could even pay for a VR headset. Never more than that. So Star VR, bye bye. I would probably not manage to make it. I don't have that money for the Star VR. It's gonna cost probably like $4,000. So it's nothing for me, and especially not X-Style, which is even more expensive. So yeah, Serenity, I hope I could answer your question somehow at least. VR Fit, thank you so much for your kind words and all this. Wow, there's so many comments here and I'm missing out so much. Let me just see if I can find. Oh, sub-reality VR, very good question here. I'm really worried about the distortion. Do you think it could make you perceive object out of place and screw up your awareness? No. It actually did. I don't think I'm really allowed to talk so much about the M1 testing phase. I think some parts of it are actually covered by an endless NDA. I think so. But still, the distortion was much worse when we started off the beta testing. There were so much distortions in the image. The distortion was not covering. I mean, it was still the same. Let me tell you like this, the field of view distortion, the peripheral view distortion begins on around 145. It's not distortion, I would say it's a little bit blur only. That's mainly blur. It starts 145 degrees and onwards. It's getting worse the more you go. And the thing is that the early prototypes or the early M1 unit, it was not a prototype but the testing unit, it really had terrible distortion. It really had distortion on the sides. It was like the image was like warping in a very weird pattern. It was like, you know, like floating. And if something was here, I actually demonstrated that for Pimax. I made some images to demonstrate that. If I look at it like a person, it was like getting bigger and then getting smaller again and bigger again. But that's fixed now. That's actually fixed now. I don't see that distortion anymore. So what I mean with distortion now is that if you take a look in my video where I actually do a visual test or visual example of how the distortion looks in the video, on how it looks on the panels or in the headset, and then you'll see that when you blur out things, then they appear a little bit bigger. It's something about optical thing about blurring things. It's like blooming out a little bit, and that may cause you to think that it's distortion, but it's really not in distortion. I would say it's more like a blur only that's getting there, and the more far you go, the more blurry it gets. So that's why I feel that the blur is there, but it's never going to be distracting because that person is never going to, you know, it's never going to be distorted in a way, but it's never going to be warped out, you know, much longer or wider, but it's going to be more blur. And I would say that when I'm playing Pavlov, for example, you know, I actually managed to capture one example. I was not even prepared for that when I was recording. You can actually check that a few times in the video. When I was standing by a house with a door, I had the door of around 150 degrees or something in field of view. I was standing there and I didn't hear him even, but I just saw him coming in and standing there. I was like, what? And then I shot him. And that was so perfect example of what awareness can give you, because with 100 degrees or 110 degrees field of view, you would never see that. I would never see that enemy. He would probably kill me in 1 second. So yeah, but no, don't worry about that distortion. I think it's not I would say distortion is a wrong word, but because everyone is saying distortion, I will keep saying distortion. But it's not warp distortion. It's more like a distorted image in a way because of the blurriness, and that makes things a little bit more bloom out at the edges. And yeah, you can try that. Go into Photoshop and add not motion blur, but some radial blur or some blur effect in Photoshop, and you will see that things just like appear a little bit bigger after you blur them. Pick half of the image, make it blur, and then it's like suddenly it looks a little bit blurry, more blown up, liksom. I'm talking Swedish here now. So guys, anyway, let's go on. Andre Volkswallet. Okay, that was the Swedish expensive bear. Thanks again, man. Let's see, let's go on. Where are we? I'm just trying to scroll up and down here right now to see if we can find it. Oh, let's see. If I had to choose, Sasuke is asking, if I had to choose a headset for the next 3 years with the 1080 Ti, would it be the 5K Plus or the 8K? I would go for the 5K Plus. I would say that to really bring out the optimal image with the 8K, you need more than a 1080 Ti, especially in the upcoming games. I mean, if the new Tomb Raider game is gonna get VR support, if Battlefield 5 or something like that, or the other cool games coming out are gonna get VR support, then you're screwed with the 1080 Ti, especially on the 8K. If you have a 5K, you can probably live with the P-Tool 1.0 and at least get an acceptable image and a frame rate. So, and I'm not talking about the P-Tool or Pi-Tool 1.0 is acceptable. It's really great. It really looks great, actually. It really looks great. It looks like Pi-Tool 1.5 with the Pimax 8K. So that's why I did so many comparisons between them. That's why I was talking about that so much in the review, because I think it's so it's so important to note, to add that in the review, that you really need a better computer for the 8K. If you expect kind of a quality in the headset, which of course you do. I mean, you don't want to play the games downscaled and jaggy and look like a mess, you know, at distance. It's not fun, especially if you buy a new headset. You kind of expect a degree of quality. Okay, Prince Alexander, sorry. Not sure if it has been addressed. Just finished watching your 2-hour review. Thanks, man. It's almost 3, by the way. Did you miss 40 minutes? 45? Anyway, when looking at the Steam VR per eye resolution, why isn't every eye rendered at 1440p? Very good question. There is an overhead in Steam in the rendering, which of course is there for Vive Pro as well and Odyssey. So even if I turn on my Odyssey, I'm not going to have 1440p native resolution. It's always going to be an overhead, and that's overhead, whatever that margin to be used for the distortion profile, for the distortion, because some of the rendered image you will never be able to see that in the headset. It's going to be used to distort. If you, especially for wide field of view, if you have an image, I mean, I hope you know how a wide field of view image looks on a flat plane, right? It's not going to look good. Everything in the center is like minimized. It's a little bit more zoomed out, or how do you say that? So what you do is to correct that with distortion profiles, both optically but also with the software and drivers and runtimes and everything on the panels. So you will have to, some parts are going to get stretched out more, especially in the center, but also some parts are going to get squeezed together, for example, in the peripheral vision. I know it's bad because you're losing a little bit of resolution rendered by correcting the center part of your image. But still, that correction makes you to actually lose some of the rendered image, which is going to fall off outside of the view area in the headset. So that's why we need more than 4040p. You can of course go lower, you can of course go higher, and you just change a slider in, either in P-Tool or Pytool or SteamVR. But optimally you need a higher resolution, and that's why HTC Vive is also using like 1.4 SteamVR render scale natively, just for the headroom especially, and also to get a little bit more sharpness. So let me tell you this, on a VR display, especially those angled panels, you can never project a native image. So even when you start off the headset, if you start off the headset and do not use and you turn off SteamVR, you're gonna have a Pimax logo. That's actually a JPEG image, I think it is, or PNG. I think a JPEG image. It only says Pimax and then some stars, right? The thing is that that logo is not natively shown on the image because of you have two panels. Some of the image will be crossed over to the other side, of course. So you're seeing with your both eyes, and everything you see needs to be corrected for you to see it flat. You know what I mean? I mean, nothing is rendered flat. Things are rendered like this, angled on the panels. So you need to make correction for whatever you render. So a 1440p exactly at a number resolution will never look native anyway, never be native. It may look native, especially on the 5K plus. It really looks native when you look at the resolution, but it is not. Why we think it's native is because of our eyes are limited. Maybe they really think that it's sharp, but it's never going to be fully sharp or fully native on such panels. I mean, headsets like let's say Pimax 4K. I never tried it. I have no idea how it works. I just heard a lot, especially from the other testers on in the Pimax forum, also some of the beta testers. They say that the native resolution or the image on the 4K, it looks more native than it does on the 8K, and they have not tried the 5K plus yet though. But I think that's only because on the 4K you are using, I mean, flat panels. You can actually render a flat image on a flat panel. If you just want to paste a menu on the display, you can really pixel perfect make it, but you cannot do that on angled panels. That's what I'm trying to say. So don't worry about the resolution not being perfectly native. It's just really not something you will see anyway, especially on the 5K plus, which really looks native, to be honest. Well, thank you so much guys for all your comments. I'm gonna go back and read all your comments as well later on because I'm missing like 90% of it. Okay, so I answered the question. Sasuke, and over the next 3 years go for the 5K plus, especially with the GTX 1080 Ti. What is your opinion of the RTX 2080 Ti before you get your pre-order? Ian Skinner asks. Well, my opinion, I have no opinion. I have huge expectations. I really hope that it's going to bring in between 30 and maybe 50% increase in performance in frames. So let's say if I have a game running in 50 frames, I could at least gain, or maybe even gain 75 frames, or maybe even 80 frames per second instead of 50. And that's like a 50-60% increase in I really hope so. We'll see. I don't know. It's not many days left now. They have delayed the RTX. Oh, I just almost closed the chat window. They have delayed the launch of the 2080 Ti, but not for the pre-orders actually. Not as far as I know. They're gonna arrive between the 20th and 27th. So hopefully I will have my card up on the 22nd maybe, or something like that, and then I will give you all my impressions. I'm going to start to do all my impressions, benchmarks, everything. But I would say my impression for it, so far is like, it's expensive, it's way too expensive, but we don't know about the performance. If the performance really is up to 50% or even more better than the 1080 Ti, then, well, it's all worth it. If it's not, then I think it's way too expensive. But let's hope for the best. And a ray tracing, if you ask about the ray tracing, I think it's awesome. A lot of people are skeptical about the ray tracing. I think it's something incredible that will really gain us VR gamers. Sorry, I was just checking the microphone was still there. That will really gain our VR gamers with the lighting, with the shadows, you know, when playing horror games. I think that's going to give you a lot more with that real-time shadows and the lights. So yeah, I really look forward to try out the RTX stuff, especially hopefully in VR. I'm not really a pancake game player anyway. VR GIMP, can you test 360-degree photos that I posted on the forums? Well, I could probably do that. I could do that. Yeah, sure. I will go into the forum. Just give me a second. By the way, before I one second. Peter Parnell, or Parnell, I think you're Swedish, right? Thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate that. E-racing, 5K or 8K plus? I can't decide. I would say that iRacing is extremely sharp. Extremely sharp. It's probably the most sharpest racing simulator I've seen so far. I was so surprised about that, and I really think that it's going to be a difficult choice, mainly because you don't need to bump up. You actually don't need to bump up that P-tool so much on the 8K in iRacing, because it really looks good natively. There's something in the rendering. There's something about that, I think. You're going to get more clarity in the menus, of course, because you always do in all the games. And in the iRacing, I tested it on both headsets actually. But when you're sitting in the car, I don't know. It also depends on what graphic card you have. If you have a GTX 1080 Ti, as I do, you can probably run the game with full frame rate. If you have a GTX 1070 only, I would go for the 5K, no doubt. I think everything below 1080 Ti should get, every person with a graphic card below 1080 Ti should go with a 5K plus. That's only one of the reasons to go for the 5K plus. But still, it depends on the card, and I think in a sharp game like this, you won't see that much of a difference anyway. Even not on the distance. The screen door effect may help you a little bit on distance, but it's not going to be such a huge difference as you may imagine. The screen, as I told you before, that the screen door effect is not that big of a deal on the 8K. And it's different pattern, so it's very hard to notice the difference. At least if the panels had the same arrangement of pixel, that would be so much easier to really compare them, but it's not. And I actually emailed Chunchu, one of the Pimax ladies we have been in contact with daily, about the pixel arrangement, because I wanted to ask her about the pixel arrangement, what it was, which kind of LCD pixel arrangement. She could not answer that. That's a company, I don't know the name of it, but she said it's a company secret, okay? They're still elaborating with that or something, or improving, they said. So she could not tell me what pixel matrix the 8K is using, really. Yeah, we just need to accept that, I guess. Anyway, Peter, I think you're gonna love iRacing, whatever you choose, the 8K or the 5K plus, because that game really shines. I promise you, it clearly shines. It's super nice looking, sharp, and it runs great as well. And it was a big surprise to me, actually. On the distance, you may get a little bit more detail with the 8K, but minimal. Ryan Lorenzo, coming from Windows Mixed Reality headsets, Lenovo Explorer, what would the best price to performance improvement? Do you mean by going for the 5K plus or 8K? If you mean that, then price to performance, then it's 5K plus, of course. I think in terms of price to performance improvement, I would say the 5K was going to be the winner every time, just because of as I told you so many times already, it's the P-tool setting. You are not going to need to use more than P-tool 1.0 with the 5K plus. At least most of the times, unless the game engine somehow renders the image wrong and you get jagged edges and then you need to pump up the image. There are games like Vanishing of Ethan Carter. That game actually is playable if you max the P-tool value and if you max super sampling to around 300%. One of the M1 testers actually did a test on that, kind of like in-depth test. And one of the Spanish testers, I think it was CD8 on the forum, I think it was him, and he tested it and he could play Vanishing of Ethan Carter with acceptable sharpness and everything. He was using P-tool 3.0 back then. It's the same as 2.0 now, that's the maximum value now, and super sampling 300% in SteamVR. Then it looked good. But that's obviously not how we are supposed to play the games. That's only a game engine fault. It's not reading the correct render resolution from the headset. It's probably assuming it's the HTC Vive resolution it should be rendered in. And that's why you really need to super sample and like over super sample it until it looks sharp. But for most games, you will be able to have a perfect sharpness and perfect clarity and everything with the 5K plus with P-tool or Pi-tool 1.0. Oh man, that's a very difficult name. Wow, we're about 2 hours now, guys. Nihilistic Wonder. How exactly does Pimax work? Does it work with async reprojection? I read somewhere about brain warp. How does the panel work? How much frames per second do you actually need for the image? Well, as I said, frames per second is different. It's 80 for the 8K and 90 for the 5K plus. No, it's not using asynchronous reprojection. It's not using interleaved or the always on reprojection. You can just turn them off. It doesn't matter if you turn them off and turn them on. Anyway, they're not going to be used. It's using its own head movement reprojection that it's apart from the brain warp. That's apart from the brain warp is a mixed. How do you say that? How do they say that? It's like a mix of different reprojection types, and one of them is actually implemented right now already, and that is the head motion reprojection, which works exactly as asynchronous reprojection. I would say no stutters, no lag, and no drop frames, nothing. It just works. So, and it also works in Oculus games, of course, and anything else you play, Vortex, for example. It just works. But the main brain part that everyone is asking for, like the motion reprojection or ASW, space warping, is not added yet. So yeah, so it's hopefully gonna come out soon. And how much FPS? As I said, 80 and 90, and yeah, it all depends on what game you play and what setting you choose. So yeah, let's see. Mac-Erona, no brain warp, nor reprojection yet. Well, reprojection is there. As I just told you, reprojection is there. Movement, head movement, reprojection. So whenever you play a game in 40 frames per second, like the X-Plane 11 or 35 even, it's still gonna have perfectly smooth head movements. But once your airplane is gonna start to move, everything is gonna stutter in 30 frames per second. But your head is still full. I mean, if you were running a game without reprojection, I mean, only in 30 or 40 frames per second, you would probably puke after 5 seconds. It's terrible if the headset starts to stutter while you're moving your head. It's not acceptable. It never should happen. That's why the reprojection is there implemented. So don't worry. But the main reprojection will come later on. It's still in development, as Sato says. Thank you so much. I kind of miss the word sometimes. So yeah, let's keep on. Yeah, you asked me about those. What was that? 360. Let me just check. I'm gonna check the Pimax forums. Unfortunately, I cannot show you that because my desktop view died after a OBS crash. So all you can see is my well, this view that was supposed to show the desktop, and also my SteamVR view, which, well, almost shows the desktop. I could actually turn it on right now so you can see what I'm doing at least. Well, better than nothing. So yeah, I'm just gonna check if I can find the let's see. How am I supposed to find it, by the way? Oh, there we go. Can someone please try this? Well, I can try it. I can try to do that. I'm just gonna download it, and I'm just gonna try it in a second. 159 megabytes. It should go quite fast. Anyway, I hope I'm switching screens now. I really hope so, because it should switch screens. Yeah, it's not doing that, of course. It's so frustrating that it's really not switching screens, because I push F1, it's supposed to switch screens back to, but it doesn't sometimes. I don't know. Anyway, so far I'm downloading it right now, and I'm going to try it in a moment. Let me just answer some questions. Your dedication to VR, man. VR Fit, thank you so much, man. Yeah, of course, I love it. It's so fun. It's just a part of my life, and I love this community as well. I really love this, because we're so small still, in comparison with regular VR gaming. It's just crazy. I mean, there are millions of people playing Battlefield or PUBG or wherever. We're like thousands only, but we're growing, and you really can see how much the community has grown already the past 2 years. It's awesome. Okay, Rad Active Lobster. My main VR game is Elite Dangerous. The asynchronous space warp on the Rift is very important to getting a smooth experience. Pimax doesn't use that. How is the experience? Yes, as I told you, I could get Elite Dangerous to run in 80 and 90 frames per second, but then you cannot super sampling that much. That's a problem. Or by super sampling, I mean the resolution quality or the rendering quality in P-Tool. So with a GTX 1080 Ti, you need to use like P-Tool 1.0, no matter with what headset you have. Or the 8K or the 5K plus. And then in the game itself, you have two options. You have one with it's render scale, or is it super sampling? That value is not that important. You can actually lower it below 1 if you want, like 0.85 even. But the second one, the HMD resolution scale or HMD quality slider, is more important. I could have it on 125, I think, in game, and then I still had mostly a perfect frame rate of 90 frames per second. If I go up, then I start to lose frames. Also, I turned down some settings in game that I think was not necessary, some effects and stuff, and also I think it's some of the planets and stuff flying by, it's sometimes they're just too demanding. So you can turn off some of these settings in options, and you will get an acceptable frame rate. But the thing is that if we would like to play the game with full settings, best quality, and also bump up the in-game HMD resolution scale to like 1.75 or 2.0, then you need a better graphic card, and then hopefully the GTX or RTX 2080 or 2080 Ti will help. And I gotta tell you that there is a big difference in the sharpness and clarity of the image, both of the 8K and the 5K plus, by going from 125 in-game setting to 175. It is a huge difference. Some guys at the Berlin Backer meetup actually tried that, and the game started to run quite slow, like maybe 50 frames per second or something like that on those GTX 1080 Ti computers, but it really looked crazy sharp. Crazy, I mean crazy sharp. So yeah, it all depends on what you prefer, what you can accept as acceptable sharpness and look, image quality. But you can get fully stable, at least with a GTX 1080 Ti, if you just tweak the settings a little bit. Satos, a good question. Those dots could be caused by upscaling mechanism. No, that's not the problem here. The dots are only visible on the 5K plus. That's the thing. You do not see those dots. I'm talking about those those darker dots that you see in the headset. You cannot see them on the 8K. They do not exist on the 8K, while they do on the 5K plus. And the 5K plus do not have any upscaling, so it cannot really relate to those two, I think. So yeah, let's move on here. Please, Christian Best, please try the Pimax on the hardcore industrial computer that it's able to feed it to the max. Feed it to the max. I would really like to know the potential. Yeah, I would like to know that too. But hopefully the RTX at least will help out a little bit soon. In a couple of days, maybe 1 week maximum. So, ZSTU, do both headsets have the same field of view? I couldn't see that on the Kickstarter. Yes, they have exactly the same field of view. I measured that in the real or virtual test environment. Exactly the same, no difference whatsoever. They look internally inside. The panel utilization seems to be exactly the same as well, even though I was surprised because the new panels on the 5K Plus are supposed to use a little bit more of the panels, they said, at least Robin said, the CEO, but I could see that both panels were used the same, at least the visual part of the panel, and I think that's kind of the whole panel you see when you open up the lens, when you put out the lens, just like I did in the review. So yeah, same field of view, don't worry. Okay, pump up the volume. Martin, make some close-up pictures of the matrix of the panels. I was really trying that, mate. I really tried that. Unfortunately, I have a DSLR camera, or I have two actually. One full frame is the Canon 6D, but I missed some kind of lens that I had before, a macro lens, for example. If I had a 100mm Canon L lens, that macro lens, I would have made those photos, but I cannot because I sold that lens and I only have like 16 to 35mm and one zoom lens also, and 170 to something, 35 to 70 or something like that. So I could not be able to photo that, and especially not with my Samsung S8 Plus. It was not possible either. Those shots that you see that I took, that was the best I could get. I really tried, and then I can show you this on the 8K. I have it running actually on the laptop right now. I can just show you this, but by removing this, it's very interesting actually. Removing this is extremely easy. Just do like that, and then half of it goes off, and then you do the same on the other side, and it cracks a little bit, but there's no problem. It's just plastic, and the plastic is very, you know, it's very soft. So no worry, you're gonna break anything by using it. It has some parts there where it fits together with this headset, and once you pull it off, it's so easy to actually just reach the panels to take some good photos if you want to, if you just pop out the lens. And pumping out the lens is one of the most easier things we can do. I could actually just give you a very short example here, just for fun. This is how you pop out the lens, okay? Here it is. Here's the thing. It's just a rubber suction cup, very small, like 3.5, maybe 4 centimeters, something like that. Put it on the lens like that, and somewhere around here, and do it more on the inner side, okay? So not here, but here, and then just there we go. Now it's off. So the thing is that now you can take some great photos of the displays, panels inside. As you can see, there is a protection layer there, so I can just like, I'm not gonna lay anything there, but anyway, you see that there is a protection layer, but you can still take some great photos if you have like a perfect lens that you can zoom, like a macro lens, but I don't have that right now. Also, I'm not sure if I covered this in the review, but when you take off the lens, you'll see there is kind of like a tape around, or glue or something, and some of it got loose over here. That little part is gone now. It's probably just stuck here somewhere, or maybe it fell off. Here it's like falling off, but it's really not a problem. You actually don't need that glue. It's once you fit the lens back, then it's gonna sit there, and it's like, I don't think that glue is even necessary to have. So yeah, hopefully I'm not gonna destroy anything here during the live stream. That would be so typical, right? So yeah, there we go. Just put it in from this side and just like push it in, and then just remove this thing, which is harder than I expected, because that suction cup don't have anything to pull up. But anyway, yeah, now it's back, and just push it around a little bit just with your finger, and then take what tissue and just clean it off. So anyway, I think that the first backers maybe have better cameras, better stuff to just take photos. I was actually using my smartphone all the time to make all those pictures, and the thing is that I took it off from the cover. I used a little small cushion or whatever around here with a hole for the camera, of course, and then I have it like that or that, this angle, and try to align it manually, of course, to get the perfect image. Sometimes I lay it down on the floor so I can just have it stable like this and then take photos with the back camera, of course, with the higher quality camera. So yeah, I think that some people might get better, much better through the lens images than I have done. But for now, this is what I could get until I get some new macro lens. But I don't think I'm so into. I was much more into photographing before. I don't need those lenses. By the way, one more thing before we put this away again. These hinges over here. If you remove the plastic part, which I just did, as you can see, you can just remove the hinges like this. There you go, and then it's gone. If you can put it back. I don't know if you see the angle of this thing, but you can just like hinge it back, and then when you put on the plastic again, make sure that both hinges are on, actually, because it's very easy to forget that. And once you put on the plastic again, you cannot do the same thing with the hinges, so you cannot anymore, how do you say, you cannot take it off. So yeah, and then you need to push from a few sides here. You start with the edges of the HMD, and then you like push around, and now it's back on place. And then just don't forget to clean the lenses afterwards. So yeah, no, it was not fully on. Now it is. So yeah, it's very, very easy to take those photos. And no matter how many times I've moved the pan, I've been playing around with those lenses, put them back, put them on, put them off, they're still perfect. They can just sit in one place as long as you put it right, in the right way. Do not put it on the wrong side or so, then it's going to be perfect. So don't worry about taking off the lenses for taking some photos, or maybe taking off some dust. And about the dust, I actually mentioned that dust is not seen in the VR just because of that protective layer in between. That's because of our limitation in our eye. We cannot focus on things that are so close to our eyes. So it's focusing on the panel, but the dust, if there is any dust, it's going to be on that protective layer, and the focal length is longer than this. So yeah, so don't worry. Let's see. Peter Parnell. Okay, I told you already there. Thank you so much, man, by the way. Let's see, where are we? I need to find some good questions here. Come on, just smash the damn thing. Okay. Will it break? No, I'm not gonna do that. This is testing samples. I need to send them back. So yeah. Sweet Pimer. No, I'm not gonna change the name to Sweet Pimer. It's not my thing, really. Okay, let's see. Before one more question, then I'm gonna try that 360 view example. When FPS falls below 90, is the game smooth enough to play like Rift? Yeah, well, yes it is. I mean, it's... Well, on Rift, on Oculus Rift, if you're using asynchronous space warp, then it's going to be smoother, because the Pimax headset do not have asynchronous space warp yet. So no, it's not going to be as smooth as the Oculus Rift once the frame rate go down. But it's going to be the same thing as on HTC Vive, for example, which do not have any asynchronous space warp or any motion ray projection whatsoever. So that's going to be the same thing. You're going to feel that when you're driving a car or just going free locomotion, but you're never going to feel that when you're just standing still or teleporting in games, because the head movements are silky smooth, even if you have 30 frames per second. And that's because of the built-in motion projection, a part of the brain warp, which is so far included. Pensiero differente. Ciao, man. Can you tell me if I need SLI or SLI GTX 1080 Ti to be sure to use high frame rate with Pimax 5K? Does it accept SLI? No, as I said before, it's only a couple of games like the Serious Sam and NVIDIA VR Works, I think it's called, that supports SLI. So no, forget about 2 cards for now at least. Maybe NVLink will fix that later on, but for now, 1 card is used by the Pimax, just like any other VR headset. So, Sushin Taher, I got Doom VFR and I love it. in your review, you mentioned Doom VFR does not work properly. Did you manage to get it running via any workarounds? Well, the thing is that the only workaround so far is the same, the one I mentioned before with the vanishing of Ethan Carter. You max out the super sampling in P-Tool, or I mean the P-Tool render value to 2.0, and then you max out the super sampling in SteamVR to 300 or even 500 or whatever that max value is. Then it's going to work in vanishing of Ethan Carter. I tried that in Doom VFR. It did not give me any difference. And you know why? There's a big difference between those two games. In vanishing of Ethan Carter, everything is low resolution if you go with P-Tool 1.0 or even 1.5 and do not mass super sample it. But in Doom VFR, the menus looks great. That's the weird thing. The main menus, it looks great. They are sharp, just like they should. So you think that the game is working, then you suddenly go into game, the HUD or the heads-up display is sharp, the map, everything you see when you push on the menu button, but the game itself is low resolution. It looks like 640 times 480, you know, that old the Quake resolutions we were playing games in. It looks terrible, and no matter what you do with the super sampling or the P-Tool value is going to look the same. The menus are going to look sharper, the HUD or the HUD is going to look sharper, but not the game itself, not the things you see around you, except for the HUD and the map. It's so strange. This is a game engine value. I mean, this is a game engine failure or support lack of support, I would say. That's why we cannot play Doom VFR right now on the Pimax, and that's one of the very few games you cannot play. So yes, are you going to try to get the Star VR for a review? Push the button. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I could do that. I mean, for YouTube views, right? And also for my own references, it could be cool to see the best possible field of view and best possible clarity, even on the highest field of view, and that would be so cool. But I know I cannot afford it, so I don't think I will compare the Star VR or the X-Style with the Pimax. I don't think it's fair, you know. Is the headset even on? Oh, that's the 8K, by the way. I just took the wrong headset. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna try that 360 thing now. I'm just gonna try to see if it has downloaded here. I hope so. And then we're gonna try a 360 thing. I really hope it's gonna show up here. I cannot see it. It should be downloaded now. The Extreme, nope. Release 200. I cannot see that. That's very weird. Didn't I download it? Star Wars Battlefront. Where is it? I mean that's only a JPEG file. Oh, okay. I thought it was a movie. Is that photo? Oh, okay. Okay, let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to really understand things here. Okay, so we have a 360 photo in Star Wars Battlefront. Okay, I'm gonna move it to a folder only. I'm sorry, I really wish I could show you the desktop. Maybe I could just show it like this. You may see something, at least. Yeah, this looks really weird. I'm gonna just put it in a folder somewhere to, yeah, just, where are we? Movies, filmer, builder, okay. Oh no, okay, there's a lot of shit in there. Screenshots and stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it in movies. And then I'm gonna start off. Which player should I choose, by the way? Like, simple VR, maybe? Yeah, I could try that. Maybe you can give me some hints. We'll see. I'm gonna try it now. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I'm gonna switch off I have an umbrella light over here by my lighthouse, actually, just below it over here. So that's why the tracking may not be perfect over here, but yeah, it seems to work. I have another base station on the other side over there. So yeah, let's see. This is gonna be interesting. Installed. Where am I even going to? Okay, maybe I should go like this. I always do this. I'm such a simple guy, you know. I always do it like this. Simple VR video play. Is that only for videos, by the way? I'm not sure if it's please help me out, guys. Can I use it? Can I use the simple VR player with this? I really hope so, at least. Well, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna start off simple VR player, and then we have. Okay, let's go into the menu. Let's go into files. There we have an image. Okay. Well, that's not opening up. Okay, let's close the application, and we're gonna try big screen instead, or maybe virtual desktop, right? I really hope I have it installed here on this. In case not, I will do that in a second. Give me a moment. Sorry, guys. Once again, I'm screwing up things. Virtual impossible. No, that's not it. VR software. Virtual. Okay. I need to just install virtual desktop. I'm really sorry. I'm just gonna switch the view for a second. It's just gonna take a few moments. I was really not prepared to show this. I thought you were gonna be able to want to see some games or something, not virtual desktop. This is my second partition with just for work, editing and so. And here's where I'm live streaming right now, today at least. So yeah, I'm gonna try that in a second. Just have some patience. Usual phone drop test 300 times from. Okay. Yeah, I could use the old M1 unit to just drop it around. I don't know. Well, now I'm not gonna do. These are not my units, guys. I cannot drop things on the floor and just. So will it blend or something like that? That would be just bad. Okay, let's see. Porn. Nope, guys, this is YouTube. They're gonna kill me if I put up some porn. I would like to upgrade to the Primax 8K. Oh well, me too. What's KS Kickstarter? Yes, it is. How do the colors blacks compare to Oculus Go? Well, I cannot really tell you that because I've only tried Oculus Go once, and that was in Berlin. I was really not thinking about colors or the blacks, so I will leave that. But it's definitely better than the Acer and HP headsets that I tried, the Windows Mixed Reality. The panels on the 8K and 5K Plus looks better in terms of blackness, and also a lot of other aspects as well, but the blackness is really better because I was really disappointed with the Windows Mixed Reality headsets in terms of blackness. Sean M. Oh, Sean M from the forums. Hey, man. Yeah, I paid $349 for the 5K. Yes, I did so as well. I mean, this was an incredible price. I'm not sure if this will definitely not be the price for the final units. But yeah, we were lucky as a backers. We were there and just pushing that F5 button the first day. Binky Boppin, Swee, any plans on creating a Sweeviver vinyl of your face to place over our Pimax? I'm not sure. Well, there are some sensors here, you know. There are a lot of sensors. I have no idea where they are located. They're located in very smart ways, probably a lot of here on the sides. But there are probably a few sensors here as well. I would need to open this thing up, but I cannot do that because I do not own these units, of course, yet. No, I would probably skip those stickers. Just Pensionero Differente. And does Pimax 5K allow you to watch Blu-ray 4K discs? Yes, it does, as long as you have a software that can support that, which I assume Power DVD, the VR version of Power DVD, is doing. I have not tested that, and I told you that in the review. I have not spent those $90, I think it is, for that damn software. It's so expensive. That's why I've been waiting with that, but I will do that as well because I watch a lot of Blu-ray movies. I am a really quality freak in terms of movies. I've been really downloading a lot of movies as well, you know, because it's just Blu-rays, better quality, and they're very expensive in Sweden. Anyway, Xerx, which MRTV's review if you want? Okay. Watch MRTV's review if you want something shorter. Yes, Sebastian's review was awesome. It was short, it was very compact and concise, you know, very on point, and that's what I like with MRTV. review. So yeah, check it out if you really want to check a shorter version than mine. So check out MRTV, Mixed Reality TV. Sebastian, he has done a review as well if you haven't seen it. Also Voodoo DE, he made a very extensive review just like I did. I think his was like 5 minutes longer than mine even, in German, but there are subtitles in English so you can watch it. So I really recommend you do those two guys. We are the 3 Pimaxers for now. Marshall Mars, what games are you looking forward to review that you haven't played yet? Whoa, I don't know what I haven't played yet because I've been so into all this lately. So I have not even gone into the Steam VR library or the store and checked out what's out lately. But I really look forward to Assetto Corsa, the new version coming out very soon. Or it's out already, but the VR support is coming next month. I really look forward to try out Hellblade now, play it more. Especially with the RTX card, when it's hopefully going to be playable at least. Right now it's hardly playable. Even on the 5K Plus it's a mess. I mean 40-60 frames per second maximum, and you know, with a third person view when the camera is moving, sliding all the time, so you're going to see that judder all the time. So yeah, really appreciate the information you gave me. Hey, a question. Leon De Roy. When you have your desktop fully in view, like I had a minute ago, can you read the regular text in, for example, Explorer? Okay, well, let's see. We're going to switch to that again. I think you're able to see that now, yes. Let's jump into Steam VR. Well, and I'm going to go into desktop mode. I can tell you that, well, this is very easy to see, very easy to read, no problems whatsoever. I'm using the 5K right now, actually. No problems whatsoever reading everything, no problems whatsoever reading the YouTube yeah, the URL. Well, nothing here I cannot see actually. Let's go down to the desktop. Let's go down to, where am I even? Okay, here's the image. I'm going to go to the desktop. There's so many tabs open right now. Wow, the desktop is only, I've changed the desktop resolution to 1080p instead of 4K that I'm usually using, so this looks very, very sharp. No problem whatsoever seeing this. But I also have the, I have the view very close to me. If I close it and I push it a little bit longer, far away, maybe I'm going to try to do that like this. Well, it's still fully readable. I can still fully read everything here, no problems whatsoever. And on the 5K, it actually, it looks more native. It looks good. It looks good. But the problem is once you start to go into some websites with a smaller view, this is still fully readable, I would say. But the problem starts once you start to go into browser and read some newsletter sites or whatever. If I just go to whatever, I don't know, Reddit maybe. Reddit has a very small text. I don't use Reddit much on this computer, I think, or this partition. So let's see, if I just go down, let's just go to reddit or slash virtual reality. There we go. So yeah, I can still read everything here, no problem. Oh, I cannot scroll. Oh, come on, let's just use the mouse instead. Much easier. Oh, look at that. Here's me. No, seriously, I can read everything. I can read all up here as well. Grammarly 4 days ago, or yeah, everything here is fully readable. I really need to go to some site that has smaller text than this. This says visit all Reddit, and let's go into all Reddit. Maybe it shows a different view. Oh, now it's starting. For example, if I look at submitted 5 hours ago over here, it's starting to look a little bit, yeah, it's not fully sharp anymore. It's not perfectly sharp. The more bold text is fully readable, the hide, report, those links, but the text on the small text, the smallest text starts to look a little bit more jaggy. But I actually would say that this looks definitely better on the 5K compared to the 8K, and that was also covered in my review regarding readability of the text. especially black text on white or light backgrounds. So yeah, let's see. We need to really try the virtual desktop. I hope it's installed now. It should be. Why is it not scrolling? Why is it not showing up even? Let's see. There we go. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna just try to watch that. I'm not a virtual desktop user, to be honest. I don't use it much at all. And performing first time setup. Oh man, so typically. Why didn't I not prepare for this? I mean, virtual desktop, everyone is using virtual desktop, except me, I guess. I'm not using virtual desktop much because I don't do much things in VR except for playing games. I do some well, I do some movie watching. I am going to do more now with the 8K because it actually is much more acceptable now. It's actually fully acceptable. It looks great actually looking at movies in VR, and especially because of the clarity of the panel and I mean the screen door effect, less screen door effect. Why is virtual desktop so slow? Does it used to take like 2 hours to start it? No, now it's here. Okay, we're there now, I think. Well, I got the pop-up at least on my desktop here. You cannot see it still, but hopefully very soon. Yeah, anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, it's in VR now. Awesome. So yeah, let's try. Photos 360. Let's browse. And it's not in my photo folder, it's in my video folder. I know I'm always like this. Always do the things opposite way. There we have this, Star Wars. Okay, I need to switch to... Oh, come on. Wasn't that the browser? Come on. Browse? No, it's not photos. Come on. There and open, right? Nope. Well, do I need to go into settings and turn on 360? Or I'm not sure. It's full side by side. I shouldn't be able to do that. How do I just do 360 photos? Oh, drag and drop! Sorry guys, I'm slow. I'm really slow. Drag and drop. Okay, let's drop it. It shows that it's not working. It doesn't want to start up in the virtual desktop. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It did not work. I really tried to take the screen, the image here. Yeah, it says wrong version. So unfortunately, I cannot do this test for you now. And I have on this partition, I have no 360 movies either. Can I just like find any? Well, no, let's skip this. I'm sorry, this is not gonna work as the format does not seem to work for some weird reason. I'm trying to really put it inside here, but it's not opening up. Wrong parameter, it says. So yeah, let's just go back to the chat instead. Sorry man, I really tried. I'm gonna do some tests and I'm gonna give you the information you need later on how it works and how it looks and so, but for now it's just like not working, and I hope we're back in the normal view here. I really hope so. Maybe I should close the application first, right? Probably. No, let's just have it like that. Okay, let's see what do we have more. Was your test of the forest... Oh, QZ is asking, was your test of the forest done before or after the latest forest update? Your benchmark of normal field view seems really low. Yes, the forest is a very demanding game. I'm not sure when that latest update was released, but the forest, I recorded it... Let me check. I'm gonna check when I actually recorded it. I'm gonna probably see the timestamp on the video itself. Unfortunately, you cannot see the desktop right now, but that really doesn't matter. The forest, here we go. The forest video was created on the 7th of September. 7th, that's quite many days ago. That's 10 days ago. So yeah, the 7th I tried the forest and recorded it for this review. So yeah, so probably if there has been some update after the 7th, then no, I should probably try it. Well, if you want it, I could try it now, of course, but yeah, just let me know. Next one, XWB or XW Bubbles. By the way, do you think they can add 60 Hz compatibility mode for both 5K and 8K? Yes, that's what they're planning to do, that they are gonna do. Hopefully also 72 Hz for 24p movies. I requested that as well. So yeah, let's hope it's gonna come fast. It's just a software solution. It's fully feasible, as they said, so it should work. See you on the Pimax forum. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, man. Vincent Laws. Why didn't SLI work? I already covered that. There's just no supporting games for SLI. Perhaps you can truly try 364 with Steam Media Player. I mean the one on the Steam VR tiny window. Wait. Run Media Player. Do we have like a media player in Run Media Player? We have a media player. I had no idea about this. This is quite hilarious. I've never seen this before. I've never seen. I promise you. I'm not joking, guys. I'm sorry. I feel such a noob right now. This is so ridiculous. Okay, I'm starting it off right now. I'm going into movies because that's where I put it, and Battlefront, and it says it's not opening up. This is so weird. It's not opening up. I really wish I could show you. This is how it looks inside of the headset. This is really weird. That's the Star Wars picture. So yeah. No go there either. But it's really strange because I can actually open up the image in Windows. So there's just some support that is not working as it should, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I really tried. Sorry, man. I really tried. Wow, I managed to pop up in quickly to check some of this out. Glad I did. You're doing a great job. Thanks, man. Recogner VR. Thanks, man. Nice to see you here. VR show, we have Hacker 4748, we have Saros, which is our moderator here today. It's one of my Patreons. Thank you so much, man, for doing this. VR Fit is here. We have so many games. Limba Zero, VR Show. Oh, VR Show, that's Gordon. That's Gordon from yeah, Epix 911. You probably remember him. He's doing a VR show now instead of Epix 911. Great show. I used to watch it. It's a great guy as well. Thanks for being here, man. Welcome. You have probably been here for a long time, but I haven't seen you. You know, he's like moving all the time. I'm just like trying to find all the questions here. Let's see. Anthony Cappuccino. Man, we have been going on for almost 3 hours now. But let's have a little bit more, okay? I mean, who cares about? It's just fun. It's just fun, and we're still quite a lot of people here, I think. And if you have any questions, please ask them. I think my browser says we are still 340 people. It's quite a lot. I was not expecting that. 344, man. Thank you for still being here, despite me being like a clown right now, and everything just screws up. Images are not working, desktop view is not working, and you're still watching at my wrong view. Here it is. Oh, anyway guys, Pensiero Differente, can 5K play 5K plus videos 180 degrees porn? Yes, of course it can. I tried that in the review. Please watch it. Let me see. I had a question here. Yes, Antoni Cacciapuitoi. It's a very difficult Italian name, I think. Anyway, thanks for joining. Just joining. Sorry if I had been asked before, but did you compare image quality of the 8K versus the 5K plus when the 8K is super sampled? Yes, I tried it as well, especially with the super sampling or super sample. It's the PyTool 1.5 value, which is kind of the maximum value you can use with the GTX 1080 Ti anyway. So I tried that, and yes, I compared, and I would say that they get very, very similar. I wouldn't say that the 5K plus gets better. It doesn't get much better with a higher P2 value. That's the thing here, and that's what's limiting us here, probably because of the resolution. So you can put it on 1.0 and it's going to look great. You can put it on 1.25 and it's going to look better. But once you put it on 1.5, you won't see much of a difference between 1.25 and 1.5 and onwards. But with the 8K on the 1.0, it's fully playable, it's fully okay, but it's going to look like, it's not going to look the same as it does on the 5K Plus. If you go 125, you're going to get a huge improvement already. But if you go 150 or 1.5 on the 8K, it's going to look practically the same as 5K Plus does on 1.0. But comparing these two units at 1.5 or above, it's not going to give you much of a difference, except for that slight clarity that is still there on the 5K Plus. Which is probably because of the native resolution set, or it's native and native. I just told you before, it's not native resolution anyway, but it's rendered to the panels without any kind of upsampling. It's not passing through upscaler or scaler or whatever. It's just showing up on the panels. So that's why you always get a little bit of clarity on the 5K Plus, a little bit more. But in terms of image quality overall, it's going to look practically the same. And no, it's not going to look even more beautiful on the 5K Plus once you go P-Tool 2.0. It's so minimal, the difference. Maybe a tiny difference in like reading text in Elite Dangerous, but still, seriously, as I told you before, I'm going to go into SteamVR and just show you this once again, in case you just joined and don't know about this. I have a P-Tool value of 1.5 right now. You cannot see that unfortunately, or maybe you can if I just switch like this and turn on the controllers just turned off. They automatically turn off after 3 minutes actually. And then I'm just gonna try, how do I do this? Desktop, right? Is that the desktop? No, that's not the desktop. Look at that. I have nothing installed on this partition. So yeah, there we go. Now you can see what I'm actually doing here. Hopefully you can see something at least. Field of view normal, right? Render quality of 1.5, okay? What we have, if we use a native resolution in SteamVR, I mean not native, but not upscale or downscale, 100%, we're gonna have a resolution of 4,443 pixels times 3,900, basically 4,400 times 4,000. It's crazy high. It's a resolution of around 70 million pixels, double size of pixels as a native 4K resolution. So the thing is, there you kind of reach the limit of what you really can see in terms of image quality overall. This resolution is not even usable in games. So what I'm doing here, once again, I'm going into settings, I'm putting it on 50% or something. The thing is that this resolution may not be much higher now than it was with P-Tool 1, but it's still going to look much sharper. But if I exit the SteamVR and put the render quality to, oh, you probably don't see anything now, right? I just realized that, yeah. Who cares? I'm going to put settings. I'm going to put rendering quality 2.0 and start off SteamVR again. It's going to be crazy high resolution. Hopefully you can see something again. Yes, you can. I'm just gonna turn on the thing again so you can see some I really hope you can see something here. I'm really sorry that I'm so new at this. I'm really doing it the bad way. Come on, I do not see what I'm doing. There we go. I thought it's not really responding, right? Oh man, things are just not going my way today. I'm really sorry for this. This is so weird. Something just obviously screwed up. Maybe it's because the computer just totally overloaded right now with a P-Tool value. Okay, let's just skip this, guys. We just go back here instead. There's just no point doing this when it's just like halting, screwing up. I just want to show. I'm just gonna give you some numbers here, okay? Let me just do this. With SteamVR of 100%, SteamVR super sampling of 100%, we're talking about normal field of view, which actually makes the image more narrow, so less pixels on the horizontal range, right? We're talking about the resolution 100% SteamVR and P-Tool 2.0. We have a resolution of 5900 times 5200. That's around 6 times 5. What is that? 30 million pixels. Yep. And once you go even higher, I'm going to try to go large field of view. Hopefully my computer is not going to just die by now, just because I'm like totally killing it right now with high resolution in VR. The last thing, I never did that in the review because I thought it was like nobody's even going to use this resolution. Okay, we have rendering quality of 2.0. That's the maximum rendering you can get with P-Tool. We have a large field of view, so you're not cropping the field of view anymore, so you have full horizontal resolution. We go into SteamVR beta, we go into video tab, and 100% SteamVR resolution scale gives us 10,220 pixels, 10,220 times 5,265. Isn't that quite crazy? I mean, this is the reason why nobody should even use P-Tool or Pi-Tool above 1.5. This is 2.0 and 175 is almost like this. I'm gonna just give you another number because my math is really bad, but let me just show you. 10,220 times 5265, right? That's 53 million pixels. 53 million pixels. Is that higher than 16K? I don't know. Or maybe it's definitely higher than 8K at least. 8K native resolution I talk per eye. So yeah, I'm just gonna better just quit this very fast before my computer just crashes or something, because that resolution is just not doable for anything, not even desktop work, anything. It's just gonna be, I don't think even the I think you're gonna get problems with the reprojection, the head motion reprojection, because it's gonna be like a slideshow in the end. So do not go above 1.5 in P-Tool. It's just, there's no point. You can try 175 maybe when you get your RTX card, but it's still, you're not going to get a huge difference in games, or no difference whatsoever, I think. In case you're not really peeking at mini stuff, maybe you can see something, but yeah, not worth it anyway. The 360 photo will work in Oculus photos. The buffer in virtual desktop is not big enough. Oh, I see. Oh, that photo is like 200 megabytes or something. Yeah, okay. Oculus photos. I'm not sure if Oculus photos actually are working. I've not actually tried it. Should I do that? Should I do that, guys? Maybe I should. I'm gonna go into Oculus here. Oculus photos. Well, let's see. I have not installed this. I think I'm gonna try anyway. Doing that, I can answer some questions, of course, and I'm gonna do that in a second. Photos, Oculus 360 photos. Let's see, free, great. I've never used it, to be honest. Yeah, it's up. Okay, so yeah, I wish I could show you the desktop, which I cannot still. I'm gonna try now. Nope, it's only black. Let's get back. Yes, so I'm gonna import it to P-Tool or Pi-Tool, and I'm gonna try to run it. Let's see, downloads, no, software. I wonder where those, oh, I'm using a different partition once again. So I'm just gonna try to, where's Oculus? There we go. Software, downloads, no, we have software. Oh, 360 photos. I'm gonna try to import it to P-Tool now. Import success, confirm, cool. Let's try it. The problem is that I cannot show you, oh, wait a minute, I will do that with Revive instead. I came up with that I cannot mirror the view of the native render resolution or native renderer in when doing Oculus games. You cannot actually mirror that. I could actually try to just start it. Hopefully we can have a mirror on desktop, but you cannot see that. That's the problem here. So yeah, let's do it with Revive instead. We're gonna start off like this. I'm gonna switch to SteamVR again, and let's see if this works. I'm not sure if you really see the whole picture right now. You know, you don't. Oh, that's because I changed the field of view. That was really bad. Okay, sorry. Once again, I'm gonna do a thing. I have large field of view, and you need to set different options in OBS for recordings for every field of view. Now it's up. Okay, so let's try it. Oculus Photos. Can we run it through Revive? Hopefully, I really hope so. Let's see, Revive. Oh, my tracking. You know, I have that umbrella right here, so that's like killing my tracking sometimes. But it's just that. Oh, 360 photos. Let's see. But hopefully it works. I never tried it actually, so it's gonna be interesting. I hope we can see this. I'm gonna just double check so we can see this. It looks like that, right? Cool. Wow, it looks cool. Okay, where do I go for my photos? Oh, I need to find a button here. It's not working. There we go. Save them to see users. Oh my god, this is like a mess. Okay, I'm gonna do that. That was really weird. I need to save them in a specific location. Let's see. We can do that. 360. No, Oculus Photos, right? Yes. Okay. I do everything for you guys. There we go. Okay, Battlefront, 158 megabyte. It should be there now. Let's start this. Can you please update? Okay. Man, I cannot find the combination. Well, it is there. It really is there, I promise. Oculus Photos. Man, this is really weird. Why is it not there? Okay, maybe I need to restart the application. We'll probably just do that, right? Can I just like turn it off, brute force it, or whatever? Let's go back to this for now, and then I'm just gonna start it again. Oh, why am I doing this? Like this. There we go. Oh, I did not turn on. I have not even. Now it's working. Man, everything is just struggling today. I don't know why. This is not my day. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're in again. Let's see, my photos. Can I just like, please click on that? It doesn't allow me to. Hello. What's the button combination for this? That is really, really weird. I'm really pushing every possible button here, but it's not letting me. Well, this image at least works. That's cool. Come on. Oh, please. Everything just needs to screw up today. Okay, once again. I'm sorry, but I cannot get it to work. This is just so hilarious. I'm pushing in the middle. I'm pushing in the sides. Yes. Can I slide it? No. I'm gonna throw a controller up in the air soon. Why is this so glitchy? But anyway, I mean, this looks cool. This looks really, really nice. Even though it's not 3D. Or maybe now it's not 3D. I don't feel the depth at least, but it's very, very detailed. It feels very high resolution. I just wish I could do something here. I can obviously point and, but I cannot click on the things. I could do that before, so I don't know what really happened. It really is weird. Something just screwed up, and I have no idea what. Okay, I'm just gonna give it a second try. Let's try once again. Because it worked the first time, why shouldn't it work now? I mean, come on. Yeah, my controller is vibrating right now. My controller are not visible, that's weird. They were visible for a moment ago. Okay, I think there's just something very, very weird about this experience. Especially when you brute force it and close it like I just did. So yeah, 360 is working, it looks spectacular, but that video or that image is just like, I don't know. I'm gonna do more experiments on this. I'm gonna do more testings on these things, and my background looks really weird right now, so let's go back like this. Okay guys, let's give it like 5 more minutes, and then we really need to start to think about the bed or whatever, or the whiskey. I'm gonna have a whiskey after this. Thank you so much for all of you for being here, guys. You're still here, and we're still above 335 people are watching this, and I'm not even doing anything spectacular here. Okay, so let's see a few more questions. All right, let's see. Are there any positive reasons to keep the 8K instead? Well, yes, in simulators, as I said, there are reasons. In simulators, you can actually gain more detail at far distance. You can do that. I can confirm that. The screen door effect is slightly lower. You're gonna see that in movies as well, especially in movies. Not so much in games. And even though the 5K plus screen door is really great, but it's still there. It's less than Odyssey, but it's still there. But it's even less with the 8K. But for gaming in general, I mean, normal gaming, nah, I really wouldn't say that the 8K has anything big here compared to the 5K plus. So I can fully agree. I can fully understand why most people are going to switch to 5K plus now. And I mean, if I only had one pledge, I would do the same. Actually, I would do the same. I had now 2 pledges, so I'm going to keep one of each. But yeah. For science, I guess. Okay, we have Jeremy Kopchak. Does the p-tool rendering slider upscale the same amount on both the 5K plus and the 8K, since both take the same input resolution? It seems like the 8K at 1.0 is already a super sample. I couldn't give you an example, actually. I have the 8K here, and I have it connected to my laptop in front of me here. So let's see. We do remember our resolution, right? Normal field of view, rendering quality 1.0. As how I remember it, right, it should be the same. I may be a little bit wrong here, but it should be the same. Let's see. This is indeed very, very interesting. Maybe this is because I'm not using exactly the same p-tool version. Yes, on the laptop I'm actually but I should have the latest version, to be honest. The resolution on the laptop with p-tool 1 and SteamVR super sampling of 100% is 2790 times 2557. That is so weird, because with the 5K it was 2900 times 2600, if I remember it right. There's a very small difference, in only about 100 pixels in each side, on each diagonally, or I mean horizontally or vertically, but still it's really weird. Okay, let's go with the maximum resolution then. We're going to try to go with p-tool 2.0, and we're gonna do large field of view, and I'm just gonna try it out, and we'll see how it looks in SteamVR, of course. SteamVR settings, 100% SteamVR. Oh, this is very, very interesting, guys. This is something I should have covered in my review, actually. I'm still not sure. It's the same p-tool version, but there's been a few version differences between the p-tools 0.74 version, the latest. There has been an ABCD version, and we actually chose one of these versions for the backer meetup for the best, I would say, the best balanced performance versus resolution. So they can do a lot of things by just adjusting some stuff in the renderer. And in this version, I'm going to tell you this now, maximum, it's p-tool is at maximum 2.0 on my laptop. It's Pimax 8K with that sticker, you know, it's 8K. And then we have 100% SteamVR. It says 9629 times 5114. So this is like, wow, this is like 800 pixels. No, sorry, 600 pixels lower on the horizontal resolution and around, yeah, 500-600 pixels lower or something like that on the vertical as well. This should mean in basically that the resolution of the 8K is slightly lower. That really doesn't make sense. We have discovered something here, guys. I'm not sure. I cannot confirm. Well, I can confirm what I'm just seeing and telling you, but this may be because of another P-tool version. This is, I need to just, guys, can you please give me a minute, okay? Can you please give me a minute and I will really just install the C version, which I'm using here actually. The C version is definitely the best version of them all, which we used for the backer meetup, which I've been using for all my reviews. And this will probably be the main version for yeah, once people start to get the headset, okay? So let's see, C version. I'm just gonna copy it over to my laptop just for science, guys. I just really want to give you that. Just give me a second. PVRC. Let's see, where are the files? So yeah, this sounds very, very strange because I was not really expecting the resolution to be slightly lower on the 8K than it is on the 5K. It just kind of kills the whole idea, I think. Or maybe it just explains why I get more jagged edges. I don't know. But no, still, this is really, really strange to be honest. Okay, I'm just still trying to find that file. It's like located over here somewhere. I've only downloaded it. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's put it in on the laptop. I'm doing a lot of things in the background here right now. I'm sorry I cannot show this. I could have shown you anything, and I could until my my OBS crashed the first time. So yeah, after this, I just need to log in. After that, I cannot really reach the desktop anymore. I don't know why. This is so weird, you know. It's just so weird. So let's copy this file over. I'm gonna close down SteamVR here. I'm gonna also close down P-tool, and I think I actually may be forced to also restart SteamVR or P-tool. So yeah, we're just gonna give it a try. I'm sorry, this is like so unprofessional from my side right now, but yeah, now. Okay, so we're gonna see because we have something very interesting happening here right now. I would say we just realized, or I just realized, that the render resolution on P-tool 1.0 is slightly lower on the 8K than it is on the 5K, and it shouldn't be this way. So yeah, I'm gonna need to restart the laptop. Give me just a second. Yeah, for now I can just reply some questions here. Okay, Mr. Dan92, is there any stretching and warping on the VR 1080 or 180 3D videos or the Felix and Paul Oculus videos, since the field of view is larger now? Well, I was just looking at the photo at least right now, or the background in the Oculus photos, and I can tell you that you will see that kind of blurriness at the edges. It's actually more pronounced now in images than it is in videos. I have not been looking at 360 or 180 photos before. I remember I tried it a couple of times only during the M1 testing, but I was actually surprised that I could see a little bit more. The blur was more, it was not more blur, but it was more apparent now. Just because everything is like glued, everything is, I mean, it's not moving at all. everything is just good, and it's very, very sharp, extreme sharp, and that's the background on Oculus Home. So yeah, for some reason I actually saw slightly more blur, but I wouldn't say it's a distorted image. It's just more a little bit, it's blur on the side, and it's starting around 150, 145 degrees and onwards. You get more progressively until you reach the end of 170 degrees around there. So yes, guys, now we are done, and I'm just going to start up P-Tool again, and we're just going to confirm this once again. Settings, HMD, P-Tool 2.0 maximum, starting up SteamVR. And let's see, same, 9,629 times 5,114. Very, very interesting. We have come to some new info here today, I think. We have, so what we know here now is that the 8K is getting a slightly lower resolution, around 100 pixels horizontally and vertically, while using P-Tool 1.0 only. But once you go 2.0, it's gonna get like 500-600 pixels smaller. But then again, the resolution is like 10,000 times 5,000. But still, there is a difference between the headsets and resolution. I never thought that, and I never actually realized that until now. So yeah, we have got some new information here. That's very cool. Thank you for that tip. We're just checking it. And also, Rage the 4K Gamer, hey man, welcome to the stream. I have a Titan V. Should I stick with the 8K or go for 5K plus? What do you think? I'm not sure about, wow, the V, isn't that the Volta card for like 3,000 grams? Congratulations, man. That's a lot of money. But as far as I understand, that card is supposed to be quite fast. I mean, comparable with the RTX cards, right? Or is it, I don't know how much better that card is, but it's, you will probably have enough horsepower to actually run the 8K, no problem. But that's, I mean, if you just go back to the review and check once again, it's all about the clarity. Do you want more clarity, or do you just want to get rid of slightly, well, get slightly less screen door effect? This is the thing. So your graphic card is going to run both of them, no problem. Okay, Goth. Do regular videos blown up in a virtual desktop looking amazing with wide field of view compared to Vive Pro? Yes, well, I would say that regular movies looks much better on the Vive, on the Pimax 5K plus and 8K. It really does. The screen door effect does a huge difference. I actually told much more about this before in the stream, so you can always go back there, Goth, and check it out. Just rewind. Yes, I would say for videos, it's really a huge difference. It's awesome. And I would say that the 8K is better for movies just because of less screen door effect. It's less pronounced. It's also, the screen door effects is kind of diagonal in a way, the pixel pattern, so it's not going to interfere with straight lines in videos. That's very, very important. So straight lines are not going to get so much jagged edges, because they're not going to be those, because you know, a straight line, if you start to push it like this and the panels is very vertical and horizontal, you're going to get the worst jags, or whatever you call it, are going to be when you slightly move those. When you're like this, then you won't see much of a jagged edges more anyway. Yeah, at that time. But here you're going to see a lot of jagged edges once you go like 5 degrees of tilt. So go for the 8K for the movies, I would say. Okay, let's go 3 more questions, and then we really need to end this up. It's been going on for more than 3 hours, and yeah, I need to eat something. And I'm really thankful for you joining and being here still with me. It's quite crazy. We're so many people here still watching this and following this. And Robert 896R1, whatever that says. Yeah, Robert anyway. Has 8K has a mandatory scale as a pixel count, might round it down for better scaling ratio. Yeah, yeah, you could say that. Rounded down for better scaling ratio. Well, I would say that the scaler is not really doing the job. I don't know if I really understand your sentence there, but yeah, anyway. I'm not really satisfied with the scaler on the 8K, to be honest, and it really needs a high resolution to really shine. That's my main problem with the 8K. Other things like black levels are slightly better on the 5K. Slightly, I'm talking about slightly, no big difference. And I'm not the only one telling that, because there were some backers at the backer meetup in Berlin that said the same thing. They said that the black levels and the contrast was slightly better. And those were actually the first ones noticing it, and they showed me an example in Elite Dangerous. And then I tried it at home many times, and I got convinced actually. It is better. VR show, Martin, full benchmark results. Well, there will be benchmark results. There will be much more game testings coming up. Do not worry. There will be a lot of things, Gordon. So yeah. Well, let's see. Give me 3 more questions. I'm going to try to find something here. Oh, wait a minute. Strangely Brown. Very good question here. Thanks for joining, by the way. Thanks for the best review. Well, I'm not sure if it's the best, but I hope it was good at least. Have you tried the American Track Simulator or a European Track Simulator with the Pimax headset? I can't get Vive or Odyssey to run properly with these track simulators. I have to use the Oculus, which it works well, yes. This is also the problem why I never even added this into the review, because those simulators are just so demanding. It's like even more demanding than the X-Plane 11. So the frame rates are really bad. We have no motion reprojection on the Pimax 8K yet, only head movement reprojection. So when you're moving that car or truck, you're gonna get a lot of stutter. And on Oculus, you have the motion reprojection, which actually smoothens that out and gives you the 90 frames per second, or at least what you think is 90, but it's not. It's doubled up. It's kind of like a method to make things smooth, but you don't have that. So with the GTX 1080 Ti, with the Pimax 8K and 5K Plus, those games are nearly impossible to play, unfortunately. Not because they look bad, but because they are so bad in performance, just like X-Plane 11, I would say. You know, kind of the same with the Digital Combat Simulator as well. So yeah, I hope you got your question answered, and I also hope that the RTX 2080 Ti will help with that. We can actually boost the frame rate to at least like 70. When it's something like 60, 70, like Project Cars, it's fully playable, I would say. Fully playable, no problem whatsoever. I've been enjoying Project Cars 2 a lot on both headsets, and it really is great. You wish you had that perfect frame rate. You can actually get that perfect frame rate once you go down in settings, down and down with resolution and rendering, also in game, but then it's not gonna look that great. So, but it's still in great settings in P-Tool 1.5 with those INI files I got from Piotr, the Yata PL guy from Pimax forums. It runs 60-65 frames per second. Is still fully playable, but the Aero Tracks European Track Simulator and American Track Simulator is just awful. So yeah, forget about them now. If you had to choose one game to recommend to play on the Pimax 5K, which one would it be? Genos Netram, hey mate, thanks for joining. Very good question, I would say. It's not Skyrim, because Skyrim is either gonna look blurry when you have the TAA on, and if you turn it off, you're gonna get slight shimmer no matter what resolution you use, because without the anti-aliasing at all, it's always gonna be a little bit shimmery at distance. I think Pavlov is a very nice example. Pavlov looks awesome. Onward looks also really great. They're sharp, they're crisp, perfect. I would also say that the simulator we just tried to show here, the oh well, you were talking about games. Well, let me say Aerofly FS2. It's beautiful. It runs perfectly. And well, one game. Wow, it's a very tough question to just get it blown away. I would say. Now I would just keep keep my words here and say Pavlov, Onward, and the games like that. They just look awesome, and some simulators as well. But I'm not one game type of guy. I play most of stuff. Sometimes I just get stuck in one game, but yeah, it's nah. I really don't, I don't put hundreds and hundreds of hours into one game unless it's a simulator where there is a kind of a purpose to learn the things and just progress in some way. Hacker 4748, have you tried simple games like Space Pirate Trainer or Beat Saber during your testing? Yes, I did. I hate Beat Saber. Don't ask me why. I just hate it. I hate it mostly because there's so much hype about it. So I'm just like trying to de-hype it in some way. I don't think that game really deserves the attention. I think that Box VR actually is better. My brother actually agrees as well about that. Dennis, my brother. So now, Space Pirate Trainer, never been much into Space Pirate Trainer, but yes, I have tried it, not doing this review, but doing the M1 testing. Yes, it's tested, and it works great. I mean, you're gonna see a little bit of the poorer blacks in Space Trainer because it's a dark game overall. When it's a lot of things happening and so, you're gonna get a lot of contrast, and then it's gonna look good. But if it gets a little bit too dark, too little stuff, then it's gonna look a little bit more dark gray. So yeah, Matt Barnes, have a good one, buddy. Keep up the good work. Thanks, man. There's so many comments. I wish I could read up all, but I'm just trying to read them very fast here. Jeremy Kopchak, okay, I just asked that or answered that already. Pimax is a game changer for field of view. Push the button. Yes, I totally agree. Totally agree. The field of view is just everything. I think it's just like everything. I mean, even if it had lower resolution than the Vive Pro, let's just say that if it had the Vive Pro panels stretched to that big field of view, it would still be better than the Vive Pro, I would say. And not because it's Pimax, and it's not because it's Vive Pro, which I am not a big fan of. It's just because the wild field, I tend to say wild. It's wide. I really need to learn that. It really is a game changer, and you're gonna see that once you start to play games. It's crazy. It's amazing. Dirt Rally he plays in long videos, amazing. Yeah, Dirt Rally is really cool because the wide field of view really adds the speed into the game. It really is a very, very speedy racing simulator, probably the most speedy when you're so close to the trees and everything around you. Those narrow roads in the woods, and so you really get that sense of speed. It's quite scary after a while, when you just like it's hard to explain, but it's amazing. And it also runs pretty well, at least as long as you turn down some settings like the ground cover. So I really like this new Viver. Have I changed anything? Sorry guys, let me know. Have I changed anything? I don't know. I thought I was the same Viver all the time. Maybe I was more of a Vive fan before, but that was not because of the Vive HTC brand or so. I've never been a fanboy, but I've always been that gaming enthusiast, and I've always been like this. But maybe I'm just a little bit more relaxed now nowadays and not so nervous anymore. Well, unless I started to do live streams and everything just screw up, then I'm just getting nervous again. But yeah, I think we're all progressing. Every YouTuber is just like progressing after a while and getting used to all this. So I still feel very, very excited and very, very like a little bit nervous actually to know that there are like 300 or 400 people or whatever that was a while ago watching me at the same time. It's quite crazy because you can really make a fool of yourself if you're not thinking about what you're saying. But yeah, anyway. Okay, guys, one more question. Okay, then we need to turn this off because it's 3.5 hours now. It's getting crazy. Okay, Virtuix. Okay, let's make two questions. In bright, colorful, cartoony games like Rec Room and Job Simulator, would you go for the 5K or 8K? Really desperate to know. I would say that the colors are slightly more warmer, as I said before. So some things may look a little bit better on the 8K, especially games like this or Lucky's Tale, for example. It is a little bit more warmer, and warmer colors will always give you that little extra feeling. I think that at least there's something with our vision. But the clarity of those games, Job Simulator, Rec Room, we're talking about, and also Lucky's Tale and so, it's look fantastic on the 5K Plus. And if you are playing most of the games like this, the simpler games, I'm not talking about that they are stupid games or simple games, it's just like simple. I love those games as well. Lucky's Tale especially, we have a lot of more. I mean, you have the Ukulele, which is simply amazing with the VR mod. And we have that Ghost of a Tale, that VR mod I made a video of before. It's pretty amazing. But all of these games are like gonna pop out a little bit more on the 5K Plus, just because of that clarity. So yeah, 5K, I would say 5K Plus, of course. There will be a 5K version as well. I haven't even mentioned that there will be a normal 5K version, which is the first version of the 5K, which was announced since Kickstarter, with the old LCD panels, which are not improved, which still are having the same resolution, but slightly worse or lower PPI, pixels per inch, compared to the new panels. So I don't know much of a difference. The colors are supposed to be improved with this Pimax 5K Plus also. So yeah, but still, there will be a 5K version, which is going to be more less expensive as well. That's what Pimax said. Pimax told us. Okay, let's go with the last one now. Let's see. Wow, there's so many things happening here right now. I tried Steam VR. No, I have not tried Steam VR yet, and I will. Zybaker, sorry, I cannot reply there. Did you have to switch NVIDIA drivers to perform better? Well, I'm not sure. I have the latest. I had never mentioned it. I actually recorded that for the review, the NVIDIA panel and so. I'm actually, for the review, I was using both here and on the laptop, the latest NVIDIA drivers, which are hopefully still latest. I don't know. I haven't checked that because I usually just turn off that the NVIDIA experience, whatever it's called. Here is it. Wait a second. Where did I go to the front page even? Okay, system information. Here we go. Here we go. I have version 398.82. That's the version I have right now. 398.82. So this is my NVIDIA. No, wait a minute. This is the wrong partition. This is the wrong partition, guys. Sorry, this is the wrong. I don't play much games on this partition. That's why it's not updated. This is wrong. I'm gonna check. Here it is. On my laptop, I have the right version, and on the other Windows installation in here, I have the. It's 399.07. That's the version I've been using for the review on both machines. Even though I did not record much at all on the laptop, but it still did a lot of comparisons for the frames per second that I mentioned in the gameplays and so at the end of the review. So yeah, 399.07, that's what I'm using. Sorry for the confusion. Michael, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, I really appreciate that. And guys, I think we're just gonna try to round up here. We have a Sakin Taher. Last question. Let's just make this last question. Do you believe that the lack of clarity of the 8K compared to the 5K could be due to the software bug with the upscaler, which could be fixed through the through patch? Would it change your preference to 8K? Well, it would definitely change the my preference or my view, my point of view of the 8K. I would, if we can't say it that way, if it improved. And I think that partially it can be improved, and that is the main reason why I think so, is that it has been improved a lot already. It looked worse, much worse 2-3 months ago during the beta phase. Some beta testers was really like, they were like destroyed almost, because like, we need to super sample this to crazy resolutions and we're not getting the sharpness even. It was so much talk about that. I cannot go into any details. I don't think I'm even allowed to go, because there was some shit around the whole beta testing phase. But still, it was a lot worse Now it's much better. It's really, they have really done a great job with the rendering. I think the whole rendering part. I don't think they can improve the scaler itself, maybe with the firmware in some way, because they're coming firmware updates as well, of course. But still, right now, they have improved it a lot, and hopefully they're gonna keep on improving it. So let's hope. And if they do, then I'm gonna favor the 8K much more, because I really think it should be possible. With that screen door effect, it should be possible to get much clearer image than it is right now. At least that's clean and with the same clarity of the 5K, or maybe at least almost. Native upscale is never going to be the same, but still, yeah, you know what I mean. Wow, guys, you're crazy. George, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. And also Roger or Roger M. Passion. Wait. Is that Roger? That's Roger. Hey, Roger. We had a great time together in Berlin. We ended up in a strip club even. That was so crazy. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, George. And to all of you, Michael. And so many guys in here. This has been a crazy ride even today. Wow. This has been crazy. And it has just begun. There's going to be so much videos coming up, guys. There's going to be so much stuff. And yeah, I really look forward to all this. I need to just add this. Roger, I hope you have subscribed to my channel, Roger. And I look forward to meet you again. This is a crazy guy from the Berlin meetup. Really a crazy guy. And he's bald as well, just like me. So yeah, anyway, guys, we're just gonna start to round this up now. And I would like to say once again, thank you so much to all of you for your support, for everything. I'm not only talking about, super chat, and so I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. But I'm also talking about just watching my videos, giving me the feedback, giving me all the positive and negative stuff. I need all feedback, also negatives, to learn something. I did a lot of bad things in the past on my videos. I have improved, I think, during the last 2 years almost now. Yeah, it's almost 2 years now on YouTube. Crazy. Next month is going to be 2 years. So yeah, so I think I need that criticism as well, or bad criticism, or whatever you call it. But still, you're really helping me out, and I'm really happy to be a part of this community. I'm very happy. I'm very proud of being a part of this little development of the VR future, or generation 2. I was very happy that Sebastian actually admitted that this is the next generation of VR, because I've been telling this for a long time now, and there's been so much skepticism about all this. But now it finally feels like, you see, this wasn't that bad as you thought. It's just cool to, this is not something I have made up. It's not my unit. It's not my company. I'm not earning from this. I haven't got anything from Pimax except they paid me the trip to Berlin just to, they did that because I told them I cannot afford that anymore. And they really wanted me there. So yeah, but still, I'm really happy to be a part of this, the whole thing, because it's really changing things now. And it's going to change not only for Pimax, but it's going to turn around the whole industry, I think. And we are going to see more products now coming up, popping up very fast. And that is because of competition. People cannot, or companies cannot really deal with it. I think that the Chinese relatively small companies coming in here and just like eating up the market, or eating up the maybe not the market, because everyone cannot afford to buy a new headset. But I think a lot of people are at least blown away by this, and really understands that the Vive Pro, for example, really is not worth those $799 or $699 or whatever it is. It's just, this is so much better for the same price, or lower, of course. So yeah, it's been great, and I'm happy about the review, that it was positive, or that you thought it was great. I really think it was a cool thing to do, even though it really, I think it got a little bit on my health in the end. I was so burned out after this, but it was fun. It was a project. It was a challenge for me as well. It was cool to just try to see if I can really make it as deep as possible. And if I had one more week, I could have made it better, but I hadn't. I really hoped that the Pimax could delay the NDA 3 weeks after Berlin, but they only gave us 2, almost, it was like 13 days or something like that. So it was like very stressy in the end, but yeah, it turned out to be great anyway, and I'm really happy that you enjoyed it. So guys, yeah, can't wait for the Gen 3, third generation of VR. Well, we'll see how it goes. I really look forward to how this develops. I mean, in 2 years or 1 or 2 years, we have like a Star VR with perfect 220 degrees, like a total vision when we can just see everything clear. I mean, we're gonna get there soon, but Pimax, never forget about this, that the Pimax started this wave. It started this wave and now it's gonna just grow. That's the thing. We have like kind of took the American market upside down and just fast forwarded a little bit. So they just, we pushed them, or Pimax pushed them to really proceed and make things better, faster, because they didn't have to. I mean, they make money anyway. So, but yeah. So guys, anyway, thank you so much again. I'm gonna end up this now and have a lovely evening now. It's getting very late now. It's Monday, so people are probably working tomorrow. I'm not. I'm gonna have to deal with some private stuff, so there will be no video tomorrow. I'm gonna try to have something up for you for Wednesday at least, and further on, so with Pimax stuff. If you have any suggestions to what I should do in terms of videos with the Pimax, please let me know here in the comments or whatever, on the Pimax forums or whatever. And yeah, thanks again. Big thanks to my sponsors, and big thanks to all my Patreons, and thank you once again, guys. This is only this is only the beginning, as I said in the review, and I really look forward to this. Thanks, guys, and see you probably the day after tomorrow, Wednesday. Cheers, everyone. Cheers.